Good evening and welcome to Gladiators TV. I'm Joe Bell, your lead presenter and commentator for this evening's crucial BSN series southern fixture between the Pro Park Gladiators and the Wessex Marine Poole Pirates. You join us at a humid but importantly dry Plymouth Coliseum for tonight's crucial clash, which will show us who goes through to the semi-finals from the southern group. Of course, Poole holding that vital 52-38 lead from Wimborne Road just over 2 weeks ago. The track is dry, it will be well watered before proceedings tonight. Looking ahead at the lineups this evening, we do have a couple of changes to the Plymouth side. There was a question mark over Tom Brennan for the Poole Pirates, however his foreign engagements in Poland have been cancelled, so he is here in Devon this evening for what promises to be a really interesting night of Speedway. Obviously, from a Plymouth point of view, you're hoping they can try and keep it tight and take it as long as they can. For Poole, the equation is simple. 33 points is all they need for a place in yet another BSN Series semi-final. Well, without further ado, let's head over to the pits and see who Andy has got with him this evening.
Okay, thanks, Joe. We're handing over to another Joe here in the pits before tonight's meeting. Joe Thompson, Gladiators number 6. Joe, it's been an interesting season, kind of stop-start here for the Gladiators, but how are you feeling being down here and riding for Plymouth so far?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Obviously very grateful to be here. Lovely club to be a part of and a lovely little track to race on. Yeah, I've got Sean Wilkinson to thank for that, for getting me and Dan down here. Been a great move for us, really enjoying it. And yeah, the team's struggled so far. It's one of those things through injury and whatnot, but I'm sure there's more to come for us.
It was a tough night over at Poole, wasn't it, a couple of weeks ago? It really was. And you're kind of really on the back foot now. It's a big task, but this is Speedway, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Any team going to Poole's going to struggle. They're such a solid team throughout every year. They've put together such a good team, but yeah, we gave it our all. I think there was a lot of positives to take from it. Nico obviously wasn't ready to come back, but at least we now have the facility to use a decent guest for him. So yeah, we'll definitely be looking at the league now to push on, try and get in the playoffs.
Now, I know you're about to go on your track walk, but I'm sure you've poked your head over the fence there and you had a little peek at the track. It's been changed this year. A lot of people have had a lot to say about it, but we haven't asked you. What about you? You've ridden it. What do you think of it? Yeah,
it's great. There's been a lot of hard work over winter gone into it, and without the kind of people like Mark Phillips and all the volunteers here that help, it wouldn't be possible. And yeah, just very grateful for that, all the work they put in over winter. And yeah, it's lovely to see all the fans back in the stadium and having some good speedway.
And I've got to ask you the question that most people talk about every now and again, and that is the fact that you are with your brother Dan. You're in the same team. Your dad's on the spanners. You've got good, like you said, good sponsors, good support down here. How important is it to you guys to be in the same team working together? Is it really that important for you guys? Do you really bounce off each other?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if we're not in the same team, but logistically it's easier. We travel in the same van to get to the meeting, home and away, which is easy. Well, a lot easier for us than two vans. And yeah, we kind of be in the same place at once as well. That's easier for Dad and like whoever mechanics. So yeah, and it's nice to be here. Just the fun element of the sport's back this year. It's not really been there probably the couple past years. Not enjoyed it as much, but yeah, Plymouth's a great team, great place, great club to be a part of, and yeah, we're really enjoying it.
Talking of clubs tonight against Pirates, your old club, is there a little bit more niggle in it for you tonight? Is there a little bit more against it being a former Pirate?
No, I don't think so. I had a great time with the Pirates. They were always awesome to me, so yeah, just still look to do a job against them and see how close we can push them.
All right, well, look, we're going to let you go. We know you're busy. Thanks ever so much for your time. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, for the Poole Pirates then, Sam Hagon, up to number 2 in the team. Going well.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I believe it's only for tonight, though, and then from next Wednesday back to 6. But no, the season has been pretty good, so keep on going that way and keep on pushing forward.
What is your thoughts coming into a meeting, having made that switch from reserve to number 2? Everyone says it. Number 2's a tricky position in the team. How are you looking at it?
In my honest opinion, it's not as much as different to 6 because you have 2 easy rides at 6, and number 2 you have 1 easy ride. So it's only 1 ride you get harder. So I think it's not too different, but it all depends. Obviously, that can sometimes mess with people. And I've actually wrote number 2 this year. I did 2 guest bookings, so it's not like I'm unfamiliar with it. So hopefully tonight just starts off well and we keep on going.
Now, we just grabbed you from your track walk. The boys happy?
Yeah, we're all happy. There's no problems with the track, so it's a good start, and just try and just maintain that lead and keep on going.
And of course, you've ridden this track since it's been changed when you did the semi-final of the under-21s down here a few weeks ago. So that went pretty well for you.
Yeah, it was good, but obviously not saying it wasn't easy, but it's different competition. Obviously, Plymouth boys are riding here every week, and obviously those people I rode against weren't particularly. They have never rode it as much as I have, and it was just one of them. And the track was different, conditions were tricky as well. So. No, obviously don't underestimate anyone, and just keep them pushing forward and see where we end up.
Put you on the spot. Take a look into that camera. Lots of POOLE Pirates fans watching the stream tonight. What you got to say to them about tonight's meeting?
Hopefully we keep on going, and started the season good for POOLE, and hopefully we just keep on going to get the title.
There you go. You heard it from him. Thanks very much, Sam. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy, and let's take a look at tonight's team lineups. And starting with the Pro Park Plymouth Gladiators, Nico Cavati is missing this evening, so it's rider replacement at number 1. At number 2, Alfie BOWTELL. At number 3, the informed Dan Thompson. At number 4, there's no Kyle Newman tonight, so Jason Garrad of the Oxford Chargers guests at 4. At number 5, the ever-consistent captain Ben Barker. At 6, the younger Thompson brother Joe rides at 6. At 7 is Jacob Hook, and the team manager is Garry May. Over to the visitors, the POOLE Pirates, and at number 1, a man who knows his way around the Coliseum is number 1, Richard Lawson. Making his debut in the main body of the team tonight is Sam Hagen at 2. Zach Cook rides at number 3, and he'll be joined in the engine powerhouse of the unit at number 4 by Tom Brennan. At 5, and captain of the Pirates, is Zach's brother Ben Cook at 5. Tobias THOMSEN makes a rare appearance at reserve for the Pirates tonight at 6. Max Perry is at 7, and of course their team manager is Neil Middleditch. Let's head over to the pits and see who our roving reporter has got.
Good evening and a warm welcome to the Plymouth Coliseum for tonight's BSN Southern Series second leg against the POOLE Pirates. A bit of a depleted team tonight for Plymouth. Unfortunately, Nico Cavati sustained an aggravated injury on the first leg at POOLE, so the Gladiators will be running rider replacement for him tonight. No Carl Newman either, otherwise engaged. Obviously, this meeting was meant to run last Saturday, so wasn't available for tonight. So we have a no facility guest in, 3-point rider from Oxford, National League, Jason Garrad. He's had a little bit of experience around here before last year. I believe he'd come down with Oxford, so that's handy. I can see there Dan Thompson. Very informed Dan Thompson with his mechanic Neil there. He'll be looking for a good one tonight. He's really sort of become the second heat leader for the Gladiators, obviously with the absence of Nico for most of the season so far. So really Dan and Ben have been the sort of heat leaders keeping the team going. See Alfie BOWTELL there? It's not Declan Rice, it is Alfie BOWTELL. Alfie's obviously fan favourite down here, rides this track very well. He'll be looking for another big performance tonight. You can see Jacob Hook settling nicely this season with the Gladiators. I believe he's living with Anders Rowe in Swindon, so not too far to travel because he was based up in the Edinburgh area, I believe, before that. Obviously riding for the Monarchs for the past 2 seasons. Captain Ben Barker, Mr. Plymouth, track record holder, with his mechanic Mark Simmons, obviously a former Plymouth rider himself. It's a good positive vibe in the Gladiators camp, considering the circumstances they've suffered so far. But as we move to the POOLE Pirates, you can see there, former Gladiator, track specialist around here, Richard Lawson. No doubt there'll be some handlebar action with him and Ben tonight. Usually is. You can see there Ben Cook having a very good season with both POOLE and Bellevue. And see his brother there behind him, Zach, obviously a former Gladiator himself. So he'll be looking to impress on his former stomping ground, that's for sure. Have there Tobias THOMSEN. I'm not sure if he's appeared down here before. I believe this is maybe his first appearance. But the Danes do seem to go quite well down the Coliseum. So he'll be one to watch for sure. Max Perry, know Max pretty well. He guested for us a fair few times last year. Obviously that heat win he got in the best pairs of Oxford was something quite memorable. See there, Tom Brennan. Tom was actually meant to be in Poland tonight racing, but I believe that meeting was called off, so he's back in. No Troy Batchelor as originally planned as a guest. Tom's another one that rides this track particularly well, so he'll be one to watch out for. See there's Sam Hagon, number 2 tonight, moved up from the reserve berth. Obviously, Sam's been already once this season in the under-21 semi-final, where he scored 15-point maximum. So Sam would be my one to watch tonight. Even though he's gone up to number 2, he's been having a solid season in all 3 leagues so far. We venture back down to the pit lane. So, look, it's pretty chilled in both camps, to be honest. The Gladiators all sort of smiles on their faces, having a good chit-chat. The weather's really good, track conditions are great. So, yeah, it should be a good evening's worth of racing. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of fireworks too, because, as I say, there usually is when Poole are in town. It's usually a meeting to remember. So, yeah, it's all looking good. So, it's just kind of weird looking at them, because obviously not really seen them as a whole 7-man team yet. So hopefully, obviously best wishes to Nico, and hopefully he'll be back soon. He's in the country, so that's one good thing to look at, I suppose. But I think the boys are pretty much getting ready for parade. So I will step back up into comms with Joe.
Yeah, cheers, Mattie. Welcome along, everyone watching the live stream to a sun-blessed Plymouth Coliseum here in the West Country. I'm hoping it will come across on camera tonight just how glorious the evening is here in the West Country. Perhaps my jumper jeans combination wasn't the best choice, but we will wait and see as we prepare for the teams to come out. There's a cool looking Neil Middleditch catching one last bit of shade before he comes out to watch his boys hopefully send the POOLE Pirates from his perspective into the semi-finals of the BSN series. Anything can happen in live sport, anything can happen around this tight technical circuit as well, as the Gladiators get a rousing reception from the home crowd. The Poole riders just starting to line up for the track parade. You mentioned Sam Hagon as the one to watch for the Pirates. Who would you say, for those Pirates fans who perhaps haven't seen much of Plymouth, is the home rider to keep an eye on this evening? I
mean, obviously you can never write off Ben, obviously track record holder. You know, he's probably done more laps around this circuit than his whole teammates put together. But, Alfie BOWTELL's never one to write off for me, because he favours this track so much. He's very, very solid on this track. He knows the track very well. Obviously, it's his 3rd season here now. But if I'm honest, there's not really anyone I can point out in the Gladiators team. I mean, everyone from Ben to Jacob Hook, they're all capable of going out there and having a good night tonight. So, but no, outside view, I'm gonna go for Jacob Hook.
Jacob Hook, of course, that reserve battle always key, particularly this season when the Gladiators are in town. One of the stronger pairings in the championship, I would say, are the Gladiators this season, with Joe Thompson and Jacob Hook. We're just preparing down on the start line for the coin toss. Poole just having a good little dig. Just very quickly, before we get the news of the coin toss, what exactly are they looking for down on the start line?
What they'll be looking for is, obviously, it's been a very hot day. Mark's been putting the water on consistently throughout the day. So you'll want to find a sort of soft patch, pretty much, very spongy, not too wet, because that won't give you any traction, but not too dry either, because that won't really give you any traction. But they'll just be looking for where you can see the tractor lines, where the tractor's been grading the track. They'll just be looking for a soft, spongy bit just to get that maximum drive in those early heats.
Well, as I'm sure you heard from Larry, the stadium announcer, Plymouth have won the toss and take 1 and 3 in gate number 1. So here we go for the track parade. Max Perry, who, as you mentioned, had that famous heat win in the championship pairs for the Gladiators with Kyle Howarth last year. There's Tobias Thompson down at reserve for just one meeting tonight. Is that going to be a bit of an issue for him, just for one night?
Yeah, funny enough, I was speaking to Sam Hagon prior to the meeting, and I sort of mentioned about him being number 2.
Number 3, Zach Cook. Number 2.
So we are having some technical difficulties at the moment with the stream, so we will be restarting the stream after the rider parade.
But don't go anywhere, because we will be back after the rider parade to bring you all 15 heats, maybe a 16th super heat. Let's keep positive from a Gladiators point of view. We've got Jacob Hook down there at 7, of course. Mattie Bates is man to watch in the Gladiator side. The first of the Thompson twins, Joe, followed by Captain Ben Barker. He was telling me earlier he's in really good spirits tonight, Ben. Seemed very happy with himself as he prepares to go out on track and lead his team to perhaps one of the more famous comebacks in British Speedway history. But Alfie BOWTELL will round off the track parade, and as mentioned, we do have a couple of little technical difficulties, so we will be leaving you very shortly, but we will be coming back to bring you all the action from the Coliseum in this crucial BSN series encounter. And back after the briefest of all breaks here on Gladiators TV. You join us as the riders try and make as much noise as they can out here in Plymouth. I think they're trying to wake up the local community here. So just explain to us, Mattie, for those perhaps who are watching the stream for the first time tonight, what are the riders looking for out here with their practice starts down the back straight?
So what they'll be doing, obviously, primarily the starts are on the back straight, so it's sort of, not going to make a difference, but they'll just be testing their clutches, see, if the clutch is reacting well. The back straight will be fairly similar to the start in some respects, but they'll just be looking to see how the clutch is reacting. Usually they'll slide half a corner or maybe a bend just to see what that initial top surface is like, and they'll make any quick adjustments when they come back in.
Yes, and as mentioned by Joe Thompson and Sam Hagen earlier, both teams very happy with the track condition here this evening. Of course, for those of you who aren't aware, the track was extended and widened on bends 3 and 4 to add a bit of banking. The track now sits at 226 metres as opposed to just ticking over the 200 metres I think it was beforehand. So
208, I believe.
208, a whole 18 metres. Well, let's hope it makes all the difference tonight, and perhaps it will give the Gladiators a bit of an advantage. But we reach the calm before the storm here in Plymouth. The riders have returned to the pits, so let's go back over that equation then, because it was 58-32 even at Wimborne Road a couple of weeks ago. For Plymouth, the equation's simple: win and win big. And for Poole, it's a simple case of getting to 33, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's all to play for. Obviously, a few people look at this series as, say, a Mickey Mouse series, but it's not one of the more favoured ones that the teams will. Obviously, you want to win every meeting you're in, but the Pirates have won this before, so no doubt they'll want to win it again. They've got a very, very good track record at the Coliseum as well, and they have, even back in the old Conference League days when the Bournemouth Buccaneers would come down, they always put on a good show then. So there's definitely that Southwest rivalry there. But no, it's going to be a hell of a meeting, I think.
Yeah, let's hope so. And it's great to see a decent number of Poole fans in the stadium this evening. I did pass a few on one of my walks around the perimeter earlier. I see there's a number of them on the entrance to the back straight there. I'm sure they'll make their presence felt. Just to let you know, we have had the announcement on track that Ben Barker will be in red in heat number 1, taking the rider replacement ride. I suppose that's no real surprise. Those of you who were filling in a programme at home, Ben Barker will be in red for the Gladiators. The 2 minutes is on at the Coliseum. I'm hoping it's not going to get too much hotter this evening. I didn't put any factor 50 on before we started, and I've also got a second jumper, so I'm sort of banking on it getting colder as we have the first rider out on track. Have you had a look at the track this evening? What
I had a quick look. Yeah, it looked very good. Considering the weather, how drastic it's been. It's 2 days ago it was absolutely pouring down the rain. So a lot of people forget Plymouth is on a floodplain. It's right next to a river, so it's always going to be a bit softer than the average track. But no, the track looks brilliant, and it should produce some good racing.
So here we go then. This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is the reverse fixture and the final fixture in the Southern Group of the BSN series. Just a reminder, winner takes it all, as ABBA famously once sang. And here is your lineup for heat number 1. In blue, off gate number 1 is Alfie BOWTELL. In yellow, off gate number 2 is Sam Hagen. In gate 3 in red, taking that rider replacement ride, is Ben Barker. And locking horns with an old foe from the POOLE Pirates, Richard Lawson, will be in white off gate number 4. I think we can expect an interesting first turn.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. No, I think it's going to be, I said in the pit interview, there's definitely probably going to be some fireworks and some handlebar banging. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it straight from heat 1, if I'm honest.
Yes, well, here we go then. This is what we're all here for this evening. Start Marshal calling them into line. Alfie BOWTELL looks like he will be the last one to make up the quartet on the start line. Forward he comes, and this is it for the Pirates and the Gladiators. Winner takes it all. The green light is on, and the tapes are up, and as we head into the first bend, Sam Hagen off gate 2 makes a good start. Alfie BOWTELL though cuts up the inside, and Alfie BOWTELL comes across Sam Hagen to take the lead as we head into bends 3 and 4. Richard Lawson is sliding to third. Here's Ben Barker up the inside into third place in red.
Now you'll see Ben now. Richard Lawson's just worked his way through Alfie. Alfie may let Ben through to fight through, but no, I mean, Richard's going to be a hard man to pass now. He's hit the front.
Ben Barker trying his best to get past Alfie BOWTELL, but it looks like out front here Richard Lawson has checked out. It was a brilliant move going down that back straight to get past Alfie BOWTELL So with 1 lap to go, Richard Lawson leads the way for the Pirates on Alfie BOWTELL in second. Ben Barker finds himself almost on the 8:38 going round the outside there. Sam Hagen almost went into the back of him, but as they come up towards the line, it's a win in white for Richard Lawson. Alfie BOWTELL will take second. Ben Barker in the rider replacement ride in third. And Sam Hagen, after a bright start, finishes in fourth. But for the Pirates, Mattie, it's business as usual with Lawson taking a win at the Coliseum.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Ben made a very good start. I think it was just a very, very busy first turn. From a new track record as well, I've just heard. So that's pretty impressive stuff. That will no doubt rev Ben up to, get in front next time.
I was going to say, if anything needed to fire Ben Barker up, it's somebody taking his track record. So here's the heat result for heat number 1. Richard Lawson takes the win in white. Alfie BOWTELL takes the 2 points in blue. Ben Barker with 1 and Sam Hagen at the back with 0. So it's a 3-all to start with. Poole's equation gets simpler. It's now just 30 points required. Gladiators' task gets harder with every heat advantage they don't claim. But certainly, without looking under Ben Barker's grill when he came in, that will really fire him up.
Oh yeah, Ben, he wears his heart on his sleeve with his Speedway, especially Plymouth. It's a home away from home for him now, so he'll take that quite personally, I'd imagine. He's been the man here for over a decade now, and I still thoroughly believe he wants to be the man for probably another decade. So he'll be fired up for sure.
Yeah, something tells me Mark Phillips is going to have to forcibly remove Ben Barker off the bike rather than Ben lose his place. Yeah,
he might have to give him one of those signature Mark pep talks. They seem to work pretty well.
Yeah, it's a pep talk that nobody wants to receive. But of course we should credit Mark for everything he does down here, and he's done a great job here with the track. Chalk and cheese to the weather conditions we've had for most of the winter that we're now enduring. One day we'll get a bit of normality in the West Country weather, but they're coming up towards the tapes in heat number 2. Of course, Gladiators are getting a heat advantage pretty quickly. And off the inside in white, we have Tobias THOMSEN dropping down to reserve for the first time. In red is Joe Thompson. In gate 3 in yellow is Max Perry. And off gate number 4 in blue is Jacob Hook. Of course, as mentioned, Tobias THOMSEN just at reserve this evening. His average gets reassessed.
I believe so,
midweek, doesn't it? So he will return to the main body of the team for the reassessment of the average. But the Gladiators, with one of the stronger pairings in the league, will be looking to try and get a heat advantage, just to try and get this home crowd going. It's not a bad crowd in this evening. The back straights got decent numbers, and so is the home straight.
Yeah, I mean, considering there's football on tonight and there's a GP on, it's surprisingly good.
Certainly is. And here we go then. Just a few little adjustments to Joe Thompson's starting position. Green lights on for heat number 2, and away we go. The tapes rise, and Joe Thompson gets across and takes the lead pretty comfortably. Tobias THOMSEN was going to try and go up the inside, but Joe shuts the door. Going into bends 3 and 4. Max Perry is slotted into 3rd, and Jacob Hook towards the back, but just what the doctor ordered for Joe Thompson out front, Mattie.
Seems to be a bit of a cushion as you enter 1. You can see Joe just hit it then and give him a bit more drive. But again, that was a bit of a messy first corner. Obviously, Jacob got caught up in traffic there. You can see he's got the pace over Max. Looks like he's just coming through now, but still, Max, to his credit, is keeping him held.
Getting very tight there between Jacob Hook and Max Perry as they head into ends 3 and 4. Max locks up, and Jacob's going to go high and wide. Can he make the move stick? Out in front, Joe Thompson's through, and Jacob Hook gets through into 3rd. He gets around the outside of Max Perry, and as they come into ends 3 and 4 one final time, Joe Thompson will take it. Tobias THOMSEN slowing down. I'm not sure if he thought Max Perry was behind him or he just got it wrong, but it will be a 4-2. Jacob Hook slots into 3rd, and Max Perry at the back. God, we could do with some excitement like that tonight.
Oh yes, I think then with Tobias, I would say, judging from that ride, because he seemed to sort of not slow up, but he seemed to get more aggravated with his riding each lap. I would say he's probably going to make a few setup changes now, make the bike a little bit more comfortable for him. I'm not sure if he has made an appearance here before. I think it is his first appearance here, so it's all a learning curve. But no, it was a great ride then from Joe, and Jacob really worked hard to get that vital point.
Heat result then in heat number 2, a win in red for Joe Thompson. 2nd in white, Tobias THOMSEN. 3rd in blue, Jacob Hook, and Max Perry in 4th place. A 4-2 for the Gladiators, meaning it is 7-5 on the night, 39.63 on aggregate. Of course, this is a pretty tricky track when it's your first visit. I think we should give Tobias THOMSEN a bit of credit. Here's a replay then of heat number 2. As I said, Joe Thompson just making a couple of minor little adjustments down there at the start line, and it was a pretty fast break off gate 2, wasn't it?
It was, you know, a quick reflex, and you know that bike worked really well all the way to the first corner. Obviously come under a bit of pressure there from Tobias, but obviously Tobias not riding here before, probably, you know, a little bit unsure what his limits are on the track at the minute. But no, great ride from Joe. Hopefully his brother Dan can do it now in the next one.
Well, yeah, and you just got the sense coming into bends 1 and 2 there that Jacob Hook fancied a chance to get past Max Perry, and it was just about building up as much speed as he could. He had a little look there going into bends 1 and 2, but once Max sort of lost a bit of shape as we went into bends 3 and 4 here, it was easy pickings for Jacob around the outside, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've not ridden the track since Mark's done the track authorizations, but from what riders have told me, going into that turn 3 now is very narrow. So you generate a lot of speed, and all of a sudden there's not a lot of room, and the track opens up. So no, I think, you know, once the riders get more comfortable that they can sort of rush in there, it's you'll see a lot more overtaking for sure going into turn 3.
Yeah, fingers crossed, as we say, with that banking high and wide there on bends 3 and 4, that riders will be encouraged to try that outside line, and it's almost like a slingshot, if you like, coming into the home straight as we look into the pits. Joe just giving brother Dan a few words of advice as to what to do, where to go. I'm not sure with Dan's form at the moment he needs too many words of advice around here, but anything he can help with setup wise after his heat win is important. And Dan, as you said in the pits yourself, really has established himself as a real key player in this team, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he stepped that up entirely. You know, I had no doubts he'd be a good second string, but you know, to take on, sort of adapt that role as the second heat leader, and he's really stepped up, and he's done the club proud, and he's done himself proud. Not just for Plymouth, but he's also riding, you know, very well for Ipswich in the Premiership also.
Yeah, he is, and of course we shouldn't forget even, we should remember it, that he was British Under-19s champion last year, so he'll be gunning for all those young individual championships that are on offer for him this year. 2 minutes are on for heat number 3, an interesting heat number 3 here. Of course, Jason Garrad coming in for Carl Newman, who's missing due to personal commitments. Jason Garrad's had a strong start for Oxford in the National League, and as you mentioned, he rode down here a couple of times for Oxford last year potentially.
Yeah, he did, you know, and he didn't disgrace himself. I don't think he scored, but he wasn't off the pace at all. I mean, hopefully here he can make a trap, and at the very least just get in the way for a lap or so. But no, it's an interesting heat. Obviously, Zach, the former Gladiator. Yeah, I can't call it.
Well, let's have the lineup then for Heat 3. Off the inside in blue is Jason Garrad. If Gate 2 in white is Zach Cook, former Gladiator as mentioned. Gate 3 in red is Dan Thompson, and off the outside in yellow is Tom Brennan. Of course, Tom, who was due to be in Poland this evening, but those commitments were cut short. Weather, I believe, cutting short the Poland meeting that he was potentially in line for. But Tom, as you mentioned, does go well around the Coliseum, one of British Speedway's up-and-coming stars, up against perhaps one of the next generation of British Speedway's up-and-coming stars, and Dan Thompson. Those two gone off the outside gates. Perhaps this is the new Barker-Lawson rivalry in this fixture.
Could very well be.
As we get ready for the shape-up, a nice 5-1 will do the Gladiators nicely. Of course, POOLE will want to, as I say, try to keep it tight, get to 33 as quick as possible, and see where we go. But here we go for heat number 3. Green lights on, tapes are up, and away we go. It's a level break, but getting across the inside in white is Zach Cook, and Zach Cook it is, he takes the lead. Dan Thompson slots in his second, Jason Garrad trying to hold third. Tom Brennan goes high and wide and gets the place. But out in front, Zach Cook made a gate, and he is looking imperious out front.
Brennan's got some pace at the back. He made a bit of a messy start, a very good start initially, but then sort of snaked a little bit. But you know, fair play to Jason Garrad. He held him for a little bit, slowed him up. But no, Zach Cook looking very good out in front.
You are right though. Tom Brennan isn't far off the pace here as they prepare to take the flag for the final lap. But Zach Cook is rather checked out in front here. Can Tom Brennan put any pressure on Dan Thompson? He's trying to go wide. Dan's sticking towards the inside. Dan gets a lift down the back straight, but as they come in towards bend 4, it's Zach Cook out in front, and Tom Brennan's going to try a daring run at the inside, but it's not enough, and it is a reverse of the 4-2 from heat number 2, with the Pirates taking the advantage in this one. First in white is Zach Cook, and Zach showing that track experience as a former Gladiator is quite important.
No, it was a very good ride from Zach. You know, I think sort of all the eyes were on Dan and Tom on the outsides, and Zach sort of just popped out and got on. But you know, he done what he had to do. Tom did look very quick. I think if he hadn't had a messy first turn, it could have been a different story, and obviously lost a little bit of ground with Jason Garrad being in front of him. But no, Tom looking mightily fast.
Certainly is, and it's a 4-2 for the POOLE Pirates. Zach Cook taking the win in white. Dan Thompson in second takes the 2 points. A point for Tom Brennan in third, and Jason Garrad, as Mattie says, wasn't far off the pace in the first lap.
No,
so he
say
did his job and he collects the 0, but it's 9-all on the night.
Yeah, I mean, he did make a small mistake down on the apex of 3 and 4. He just overturned a little bit, but obviously he's not ridden here for a whole season really now, and the track has changed slightly. So, but no, it's something to build on. If he can keep popping out the starts like that and getting in the way, could be work in favour for the Gladiators for sure.
Now, I'm not going to try and preempt things because you shouldn't in sport. I get the sense the rider in red is going to be a little bit fired up here. He's lost his track record. Beware, Ben Cook. Ben Barker is fired up and will be flying.
Ben don't even like losing his space in line to get some chips, so I'd imagine he's going to be very fired up. Ben's a cool character. He's it'll be on his mind for sure, and it will fire him up. But he'll be cool and collected. He'll know what the job he's got to get done in this heat, and he'll be looking to do that.
He certainly will, and he's got a good supporter in Jacob Hook with him here in heat number 4. And Jacob Hook does go off the inside in gate number 1 with that point to his name. Max Perry in yellow off gate number 2. Ben Barker off gate number 3, taking his second ride of the night. And Ben Cook gets his first look at the Coliseum this evening off gate number 4. And this really is an interesting little matchup here. Ben Cook off the outside in white. Ben Barker off gate 3 in red. And the 2 reserves up towards the inside. Ben looking down the straight here, perhaps sticking more towards the middle of the track.
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, obviously Zach Cook made a very good start from was it gate 2 he was on in the last heat, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
It was. So, Perry can be a good start, but obviously Ben's probably getting a bit closer to that. It looks from here that there is a bit more softer material, so he'll want to definitely get in front of Ben Cook, because, Ben is a bit hit and miss around this track, but when he's in front, he's very, very hard to pass.
He certainly is, and those Cook brothers are mighty consistent for the POOLE Pirates. Ben, of course, is really making himself a strong link in this Pirates team. Takes on the captaincy this season as well. But here we go, green lights on. Tapes are up and away we go. And as we mentioned, Ben Barker does make the gate and gets towards the inside. Ben Cook goes around the outside trying to get past Barker. But Ben is out in front from the POOLE Ben. In second place, Jacob Hook is slotted into third. Max Perry is at the back. We thought he'd look quick. Ben Barker is looking quick.
He's definitely got the bit between his teeth, hasn't he? He's, he's getting those wheels in line super early, leaning off the bike, getting maximum traction. We could possibly see another track record go here, the way it's going.
We could be trading blows on the track record here as Jacob Hook goes wide off bend 1 and 2 to try and generate some speed to get near Ben Cook. But we have a lap to go here in heat number 4, and Ben Barker shows the way in red, and he is checked out in front here. Ben Cook is in second in white. In third in blue is Jacob Hook. Max Perry towards the back, but as they come up to the line, he won't be easing off the throttle. We hear Ben Barker flat out to the line. Check your stopwatches at home. Let's see if we've got another track record. Barker takes heat 4, and that was the Ben Barker we all know and love.
Yeah, for sure. He's cool and collected, done what he had to do, but that's what I love about Ben. Like, straight from the start, you just see him fighting the bike, he really does work that bike.
52.40. Well, he'll be happy he got the win. He won't be happy that he's not got that track record. But as you say, he has done his professional job there. As I say, he was very positive with me before the meeting. So 4-2 in heat number 4. Ben Barker takes the win in red. He moves on to 4 points for the evening. Ben Cook in second in white. Third for Jacob Hook in blue, and Max Perry settled at the back in fourth. But as we say, we joke about Ben Barker desperately wanting the track record, but at the end of the day, as team captain, he's got to remain professional.
Oh, 100%. Sometimes Ben gets a little bit of flack, but he's a great guy to have around in the team. He's really hands-on with everyone. Wants his club to do well. He wants to do well. He's a good guy to have in the team.
He certainly is, and he, as you say, he knows his way around here with his eyes shut. Although I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sure if he was to try it, he would certainly get round pretty well. He's done more laps around here than I think Mark has in the tractor.
Yeah, and Mark's done a lot of laps in the tractor.
He certainly has, and I'm sure he'll do a few laps with the water tanker this evening. But the 2 minutes are on for heat number 5. The sun is slowly starting to set, and there is a degree or two coming off the thermometer, which for a man who's packed 2 jumpers this evening is a bit of a relief. I certainly didn't want to get my my very pale legs burnt at any opportunity. I think we've both got the black jeans memo, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to wear a hat, being a bold man myself, and having that ginger jean. I definitely don't want to burn, but no, the weather's lovely. It's perfect conditions for Speedway. Yeah, lovely June evening.
And it is a relief to have lovely conditions for Speedway. We've had a few cold nights, a few chilly nights here at the Coliseum this season. We are still waiting for Dan Thompson, I believe, to come out on track here at the moment. We've got 3 riders out at the start line. And let's have the lineup for heat number 5. And off the inside in yellow will be Sam Hagen. In gate 2 in red, when he eventually gets round to us, will be Dan Thompson with 2 points to his name. Gate 3 in white is Richard Lawson. After that, superb win in heat number 1. And off the outside in blue is Jason Garrad. And he will be in gate number 4 as Dan Thompson has joined us with 30 seconds to go. Better late than never. But the Gladiators do hold a 2-point lead, and although the 26-point deficit might be too much to overcome, a home win will be a huge confidence boost.
Oh, 100%, especially, given the circumstances with no Nick or Kyle. If they can pull off a win tonight against a full-strength Pirates, who especially have a great track record around the Coliseum, it's going to be a hell of a confidence booster.
Certainly will. As we prepare for heat number 5. Sart Marshall makes his way out of the way, and the green light's on, tapes are up, and away we go. Dan Thompson may well have got to the lead out in front here. Dan Thompson in red gets the lead, and Jason Garrad's trying to get up the inside of Sam Hagen, but it's an important lead here for Dan Thompson. Out of the gate, got to the corner and takes the lead. Richard Lawson will have the bit between his teeth in second. Sam Hagen slides to third, and Jason Garrad again isn't too far off the pace in 4th.
No, not at all. Obviously Dan in front of the new track record holder at the Coliseum. He's just got to keep his nerve, ride smart, ride his own race really, and just not put a foot wrong, which he's not doing. Richard's not really making up any ground on him, so yeah, might be the track record holder, but Dan is the fastest one in this race.
Well, certainly riding his own race he is. You can only ride what's in front of you, and what's in front of him now is 226 metres towards another heat win at the Coliseum. Dan Thompson looking fantastic out in front here. He got the gate, he got across in bends 1 and 2, and Dan Thompson takes a crucial win in heat number 5. Sam Hagen and Richard Lawson tight there for second between the 2 POOLE Pirates. Jason Garrad back in 4th. But Dan Thompson, we salute you. That was a mighty fine and professional ride.
Oh, it was a fantastic ride, from start to finish. He done what he had to do. Obviously Richard Lawson was, pushing, but didn't really make up any ground to really pose a threat. I think unless...
Interestingly, that sounded quicker than Ben Barker's last heat, which really fired me up. So the result for heat number 5 in red was Dan Thompson. He gets 3 to his name. Richard Lawson in second in white. Sam Hagen eventually in third, and Jason Garrad at the back. 3 all, 16-14, 48-72. I think I got the time was 52 seconds 40,
yes.
And that was just a couple of ticks underneath that time as we look at a replay. And let's see this gate from Dan Thompson, because he was out and he got across on bend 1 to get the lead. We're going to see it here, and this is exactly how you want to ride at Plymouth, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. As I say, from start to finish, he had a little bit of bother there initially going into the turn from Lawson, but sort of showed him that he ain't going to be moved over, and off he went. But no, brilliant ride, looks smooth as hell, stylish, and yeah, great ride.
And to be fair to Richard Lawson, it wasn't for a lack of trying that he couldn't get to Dan Thompson. He was trying a variety of lines to try and gain a bit of speed as he went round the track. But in the end, Dan was just a little bit too quick on this occasion. Yeah,
of course. With the track conditions as they are, obviously the weather playing a factor. At the moment, there is sort of that one sort of really fast race line which Dan was on. So, you can see Rich, as you said, was trying a few different lines, but initially Dan was on the line he needed to be on. And no one likes wheel chasing. That's a scary thing. But no, it's a great ride. I mean, if Joe can continue that form in his next riders, I mean, no disrespect to Jason Garrad, but obviously not a lot is expected of him tonight. So, if we can, at the very least, get a free out of the heats he's in with Dan, then, that would be great for the Gladiators.
And again, we say it without trying to sound condescending or anything. Off the gate, going into bends 1 and 2, he was right on the back.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Of
Sam Hagen there. He was on the pace off the gate. It was just then as they went down into bends 3 and 4, he just didn't quite have that speed to get past.
No, I mean, until we get to the slightly later stages of the meeting where there is a bit more of a dirt line, if he pops up the start and he's holding that race line, there's no reason he can't stay in the position he's at the time. So, no, he could be a shock factor for his Programme 2 rides, but we'll see.
We certainly will, and there's one race I'm not going to commentate on this evening, and that is Mark Phillips in the tractor and Maximus going round on his push bike. I think Maximus may well have thrown the towel in halfway down the back straight. Mark just doing a bit of track grading. I think we might get a bit of track watering as well here at the end there of heat number 5. 16 points to 14, 48 points to 72. We just see a few of the pool riders just looking to make a couple of little adjustments. Perhaps Ben Cook back out in the next one in white. Of course, we also await to hear who the rider replacement rider is in red. I'm not one for playing Garry May bingo, I'll be honest with you. My programmes normally look like a crossword at the end of the night.
Yeah, Sudoku.
Sudoku, yeah. Garry May Sudoku. If anyone does want to play a bit of Garry May Sudoku, then do get your comments in on social media and we'll have a good look at them at the end of the night and see if anyone gets a full house of predictions. As mentioned, the POOLE Pirates fans down there on bend 2 down the back straight, they've had what have they had so far? They've had 2 heat wins so far, the Gladiators with 3 to their name at this point. I mean, for them, we talked about Plymouth needing to win big and things, but it is just a case now of the Pirates being ultra professional, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Paul obviously aren't going to want to put a foot wrong. Obviously they're going to want to win the meeting for sure, but as you say, they're all professional guys, and Neil is probably the most decorated manager in British Speedway history, to be honest. What he hasn't won isn't really worth winning, so he'll be closely in the ear of the riders, and they'll have riders to look out for. Obviously we all know. You can see there Ben having a little word with Dan.
Looks like Dan's going to come out and ride here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, especially off that win. Obviously they're going to want to try and get a little bit ahead now, going into the sort of nearly the midway point of the meeting. So, but no, what gate will Dan be off in this one then? So he'll be off gate 1.
Gate 1.
So gate 1 hasn't been too bad. So could be another win.
Yeah, certainly will, and we'll obviously wait for official confirmation before we do confirm Dan Thompson in red, but it certainly looked like he was preparing himself to go back to back here in heat number 6. Of course, he'll be alongside Alfie BOWTELL. Alfie, one of those Rolls-Royce Speedway riders, I think, who always gives you everything.
Yeah, he's a real engine room. He every time he steps on the bike, it's he just wants to win races. He wants to do well. There's some tracks he struggles on. I think more because he's a former motocross racer. They don't have that traditional speedway style. They're a little bit more upright usually. But no, I mean, he's got this place cracked.
Let's have a look at the gate stats before we continue our little eulogy in favour of Alfie BOWTELL. Gate number 1 then, 6 points so far. 3 wins off gate number 2. That surprises me a little bit at this stage. Gate 3 with a win, as with gate 4. It certainly seems like that middle gates 2 and 3, that's where you want to be. And we did see Ben Barker move over towards the centre of the track, the inside of his gate box there in his last ride, didn't we?
Yeah, and he made a stunning start. It'll be interesting to see later when obviously those gates stay as they are. When you get 2 of the sort of more heat leader guys, one on the edge of 2 and whatnot, it could be an exciting first bend, to say the least.
Well, certainly could, yeah. Most bends 1 and 2 laps around Plymouth do tend to be plenty exciting as Mark continues to throw some H2O down on the track. If he can throw some up to the commentary box, that would be great on this warm evening.
Plymouth's finest tap.
Certainly is. As we prepare ourselves then for heat number 6, Jacob Hook looking quite relaxed over the pit gate. Doesn't look too enamoured.
No, he's just, he's chilling. He's probably enjoying the weather. Still probably not as hot as Australia, but my sister-in-law actually lives in Brisbane, and we were saying how hot it's going to be this weekend. She's like, that's a cold day for us over here. But no, he'll be enjoying it. He's had he's had a good start really. His points hasn't really justified his effort so far. Definitely more to come from him, not just in this meeting, but I think in this season as a whole. Yeah, definitely. And as we mentioned, on paper, it is one of the stronger reserve pairings in the league. Of course, they were key to that brilliant win in the championship a couple of weeks back at Edinburgh. Yeah, I mean, Jacob's old stomping ground as well, obviously, so bit of inside track knowledge from him there. But again, the boys went up there, they've done what they had to do, and it was it was a brilliant meeting. They were unlucky the day after at Berwick. Well, there we go, Jacob Hook with 2 points to his name so far.
we've got Alfie BOWTELL on 2, Dan Thompson 3 from 2 rides, Jason Garrad yet to score from his 2, Ben Barker with 4 paid 5, Joe Thompson with the 1 win to his name, as we say, Jacob Hook with a pair of 3rd places, Richard Lawson for the Pirates on 5 leading the way, Sam Hagen with 1 paid 2, Zach Cook with a 1 win 1 ride ratio so far, Tom Brennan with a point to his name, Ben Cook 2, Tobias Thompson, as we mentioned, down at reserve tonight for a one-off occasion, it would seem, with 2 points from his only ride, Max Perry with a couple of 4th places so far.
Looking at the scores there, Garry May seems to be having a pretty good night. 16 so far, so that's a pretty good effort from Garry.
We'll have to try and catch Garry later, see if he's happy with his 16-point effort so far. I'm not sure Midlow will be too happy with 14 points to his name against Garry. I think he'd want a few more points against one of his old foes in the team manager ranks. It's actually great, isn't it, to have Garry and Midlow still as enthusiastic in the sport. I mean, as you say about Midlow, he's achieved everything there is to win. Garry May's been a dab hand at this level for so many years.
Oh, 100%.
Great success at Somerset and before that, and you know the honours that they've got between them. It's great to see them still enthusiastic.
Yeah, it's like a game of chess, isn't it? You know, I'll move my trophy, you move yours. I mean, what I kind of like about Garry is I have a little link with Garry. His first ever gig as a team manager was for Poole's junior team, the Poole Keys, back in 2008. And I was team captain for him, and that was the first trophy he won. We won the Academy League that year.
So you're going to take the credit?
I'm going to take the credit for that. I taught him everything he knew about how to deal with his riders. But no, and then the success then continued on to Bournemouth when he was team manager with Neil Vatcher at the Bournemouth Buccaneers, and obviously then we all know his career record at Somerset was great.
We can see Midlow in deep conversation there with Richard Lawson, just having a look at what state the track's in there after Mark's little bit of work. Just going to go back and have a quick chat with a couple of his riders, I think, in the pits, but we're just waiting now for the vehicles to be cleared off the track. Maximus starts to make his way around the home bend. There's plenty of dirt being put on the air fence so far.
Yeah, you know, it's there's obviously a good amount of moisture in the track, obviously, as you can see, especially on turns 1 and 2.
That does surprise me a little bit, because it was well watered since we've been here, but that surprised me as that's the first water. Is it the first watering?
Yeah, I believe so.
We've had, so that does surprise me how much dirt's on the air fence already.
Yeah, I mean, you can see there sort of from where we're stood, obviously not off camera, but there is a dirt line there starting to build sort of right on the tip of it. So, you know, come those sort of, you know, your heat sort of 10 onwards, when you see Barker and Lawson going out there, it's going to be exciting stuff, I think.
Here's a look at the gardening that the boys have been producing for us so far. You can see a few. That line that we were talking about, Ben Barker wasn't happy with off gate 3 there, deep rut of gate 3. Gate 4, the boys trying to start wide as they can, I think, as we look down the track from here. But it will certainly be interesting. What have we got coming up here? We've got the rider replacement ride coming off the inside in 1. Let's see if that can... we believe it will be Dan Thompson. Obviously, we'll wait for official confirmation, but let's see if that can get a good heat win. Ben Cook coming off 2. Alfie BOWTELL coming off that gate number 3, and Tobias Thompson will come widest of them all as we look down the...
I mean, you can see there that, that's from like gate 2 and 3, and you can see that sort of soft material. That it's not loose stuff, it's sticky stuff, which is the stuff you want to get your wheels in line with. We saw just a minute ago on gate 4 all that dirt up against the fence. Obviously, you're going to get a lot of spray because the straights being so short here. That's the start line, sort of like a turning point, so it gets very slick on the inside of 4. But no, once those ruts start appearing on 4 and they start kicking that dirt off the fence, gate 4 will probably become very good later on in the meeting.
Tobias Thompson, deep in thought as he looks down at the Plymouth Shale as we continue to wait for heat number 6 here. We just got a little hold up, didn't quite catch the announcement. Maximus surges to the tapes. You're the wrong side, Maximus. You need to be the other side. I think you'd be excluded for that these days.
I think with Tobias, he's having flashbacks of his native country voyance of the junior track.
Potentially, he's also bobbing his head along there, perhaps enjoying the music choice.
Yeah, it looks a bit of Ryan Adams, I guess.
Of the DJ here at the Coliseum, trying to keep the crowd entertained. Good to see some youngsters in this evening as well. There's a real good number of youngsters in and around, the future fans of the sport. And actually that's one thing that Plymouth and Poole in particular as well do. A number of clubs do it really well, but integrating the youngsters into what the future of the sport is.
Yeah, 100%. You know, now Mark sort of adapted. We've got 3 or 4 mascots here. I mean, my son being one of them on his little sort of revy bike. But no, there's a lot of youngsters from this area coming through now, or starting to sort of ride. So that's great for this end of the country, because obviously with lack of tracks down here now in track time. But no, that's great. You know, it's good to see youngsters here, and that's what I love about Speedway. You'll see grandson, father, and granddad all here together enjoying it, and it's 3 generations of fun.
It certainly is. As the riders make their way out, then we do finally have the 2 minutes on for heat number 6, and we will await confirmation. But it did look like it was Dan Thompson preparing his red helmet colour, and out he comes, and it is Dan Thompson going to be in red, and he will go off gate number 1. So as the riders make their way around, quite an important heat in the context of the match as a fixture alone tonight, I think.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's definitely going to be establishing dominance. Obviously, Plymouth losing the first leg.
Let's see the lineup very quickly. Off gate number 1, as mentioned, Dan Thompson in red takes that rider replacement ride. Gate number 2 in white is the Pirates captain Ben Cook. Gate 3 in blue, the ever 100% hard-working Alfie BOWTELL, and Tobias THOMSEN looking to continue what was a good, pleasing start off gate number 4 in yellow. So Alfie's just going to do a little bit more digging. But
yeah,
Gilbert, this is an important heat, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, Cook's coming off that favoured gate 2, so he'll definitely be one to watch from the initial sort of tapes going up. But you know, if Dan can make a good start and maybe push him out, could see Alfie do a cutback. I mean, the thing is, with riders like Alfie, yes, he's on a 5.5 average, but especially around here, if he gets in front, I mean, we saw in that heat 1, you know, he's very capable of beating the quickest around here.
Certainly is, and we've had a fair few quick riders already here tonight. One of them is out here in red. Dan certainly flew around in the last one. So here we go. Riders are brought up to the start tape. Alfie BOWTELL starting a little bit wider in his gate box. Green lights are on for heat number 6. Tapes up and away we go, and in white, Ben Cook's made a flyer, gets towards the inside. Dan Thompson then throws it up the inside. Tight. Dan Thompson holds on up the inside. That was daring, but now Ben Cook switches back up his inside. Oh, what a move by Ben Cook to take the lead. Now Dan Thompson comes back for more at the inside, but Ben Cook makes it stick.
It's kind of like video game racing, isn't it? You know, you tit for tat. You know, Ben's obviously established a lead now, looking very quick out in front. But again, another 3-3 as it stands. So, you know, that's good for the Gladiators. It'll keep that lead.
Certainly is, and this is Ben Cook showing everybody here at the Coliseum just what he's capable of as he takes the flag for the final lap, and Ben Cook really starting to open it up out in front. It's all pretty set in behind, with Tobias Thompson not being able to make any inroads on Alfie BOWTELL, but as he comes to take the flag, that was impressive from Ben Cook. Gives us a little wheelie as he crosses the line, a 3-all for the Pirates, getting another heat win for them. Ben Cook, to the delight of the Pirates fans on the back straight. Well, if we could have a few laps like we had there at the start of this heat, we'd be very entertained this evening, wouldn't we?
Oh, 100%. You know, I don't know what changes Ben's made to his bike since his last ride, but they're obviously the right decisions. He's once he got out in front and established that lead, then he looked fantastic. Looked smooth, consistent, didn't really put a foot wrong in that race.
Certainly did, and there is your heat 6 result, another 3-all in the bank. Ben Cook takes the win in white. Second in red was Dan Thompson, gets another 2 points to his total. Alfie BOWTELL with a third in blue. Tobias Thompson at the back in yellow. And that really was probably the most entertaining heat of the night, I would say, with the pair of them trading blows into Ben's 1 and 2 mainly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as well, you know, we can see on the replay here, but what's good to know is obviously Mark's just watered that track, so it's going to be a little bit greasy on that top surface, but they were still making passes like that, so that's only going to be a good omen for things to come later, I think.
Certainly is, and it looked like a fairly even gate. Alfie BOWTELL didn't get a bad start off gate number 3. You can see Ben Cook just drifted off the inside line. Dan Thompson said, "Thank you very much, I'll take that avenue," and then as he drifted off Ben's 3 and 4, Ben Cook said, "Whoa,
yeah, I think
you can do, I can do just as well."
You know, looking at the replay, he was kind of ready to make that cut back to the inside and make that really long home straight that give him that speed. Then, you know, once he got past, he was gone.
Certainly did, as the riders come up to the line then for heat number 7. Captain Ben Barker out in red again here. Let's get the lineup for heat number 7 then. And off the inside in white is Zach Cook. 1 ride, 1 win to his name so far. Ben Barker off gate number 2 in red, Tom Brennan off gate number 3 in yellow, and Joe Thompson will come from gate 4 in blue. So we have a couple of people chasing maximums out here, Joe Thompson and Zach Cook with 1 ride, 1 win to their name thus far. And we also get the, if that wasn't enough, we also get Tom Brennan versus Ben Barker off gates 2 and 3, just to keep us entertained.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Ben, I say he's off that favoured gate so far, gate 2. Obviously, initially, Dan Thompson made the better start off 3 there, which Brennan's on. So, could be worrying, but again, you've got Zach Cook coming off a win already. Experienced rounder, obviously, with a season as a Gladiator. So, it's, yeah, interesting heat in the works for sure. And can't forget about Joe Thompson off the outside. He's right up to that fence.
I was going to say, we just had Ben asking Tom Brennan just to give him a little bit more room as they come up towards the gate. They're awfully tight there on the inside and outside of their respective gate boxes, but the start marshal calls them into line. He will move out of the way. Tapes up and away we go. Ben Barker's made a really good one off gate number 2. And now can Joe Thompson go around the outside of Zach Cook? He's certainly going to give it a good go, and he gets through.
That's a great
Joe
ride.
Thompson, it really was a great move, but now Zach Cook throws it up the inside of him. Well, this is what we came here for. Zach Cook and Joe Thompson going head to head. Ben Barker, meanwhile, he's away and gone. It's going to be a good battle for the minor places here.
No, I mean, that was brilliant start from Ben, but all eyes then were on Joe. You know, made that initial pass in the second, obviously falling back now, but you know, that's needed. That's going to give us a 4-point lead now, so that's a great ride from Joe.
Ben's looking to try and place his order in the refreshments bar here if he goes any wider off Ben's 3 and 4. But as they take the final lap, what can Joe Thompson muster with 200 metres left to go? Zach Cook looks pretty set in second. Meanwhile, out in front, Captain Fantastic Ben Barker. It's going to be yet another win around the Coliseum for the skipper. Barker flies round, Zach Cook in second. Really good heat that, with Joe Thompson back in third, Tom Brennan in fourth. It's another heat advantage to the Gladiators. It is a 4-2. Jets propelled Ben Barker off gate number 2.
Yeah, I say, as soon as he got his wheels in line again, he was, I did notice then with Ben, not so much down turn 3, but on the entry to turn 1, you can see him really rolling off that throttle to let that back wheel slow up. So, he wanted to catch as much grip as he could in that back tyre then, and it showed, as soon as he got his wheels in line, he was gone.
There is your heat result for heat number 7. Then a 4-2 to the Gladiators. Ben Barker takes the win in red. Zach Cook gets the second in white. Joe Thompson with a third in blue. And Tom Brennan at the back in yellow. 23-19 still keeps us going on the aggregate. Just the 22 points to overhaul now for the Gladiators.
Piece of cake.
55-77. Let's see the replay of that start. Let's see what sort of view we get here of Ben Barker. He, as I say, was to the outside of his gate box, but as soon as these tapes went up, he was not going to be denied.
No, I say that there must be a definite good spot there, because say when he come off gate 3 in his previous race, he was right close to gate 2. So there's obviously a nice bit of material there, and you can see it's like Barter Smarshlet going down the straight zone, right back on the seat, maximum drive, and Zach Cook, battled his way through there and kind of pushed Dan out of the way. But no, it was a good ride from the Gladiators.
Yeah, that's credit to both riders, I think, there. Joe Thompson and Zach Cook gave each other plenty of respect. It was hard racing, both showing just what they're capable of around this tight technical track. As we get ready for Heat 8, we're racing on with it. Another really interesting heat here. Alfie BOWTELL, as mentioned, certainly isn't going to give anything away. Sam Hagen gets a good chance here in white as well off gate number 3, as Alfie makes his way onto the track with Aurora support from the Gladiators faithful. We'll check the lineup then for heat number 8 as we reach the halfway point of the evening's racing. And off the inside in yellow we have Max Perry. Off gate number 2 in blue is Jacob Hook. Gate number 3 in white is Sam Hagen. And off gate number 4 in red is Alfie BOWTELL. It's be interesting to see where they line up here. Obviously Ben was towards the outside of his starting gate box. Jacob Hook looks more like he's going to try and stick to the inside.
Yeah, you can see he's kicking a bit of material there around. He's packing something in quite nice. So hopefully it'll be, this is always a heat where the home team need to try and get a heat advantage. Really a 3-3 is okay, but they really want to try and get at least a 4-2 out of this heat.
Certainly do. Against what has been Poole's reserves all season and will be again when they're next in action. Of course, just tonight before Tobias Thompson's average is reassessed after their fixture in midweek. But here we go then for heat number 8. Last adjustments are made to the start line. Alfie BOWTELL is the last one into line. The start marshal makes his way out of harm's way, and the tapes are up and away they go, and it's a brilliant gate from Sam Hagen. But here comes Alfie BOWTELL off the outside. Whoa, that's fair racing. Sam Hagen made the gate. Alfie BOWTELL tried to come across from the outside. I'm not sure this one's done just yet. Back in third place is Jacob Hook, Max Perry at the back. Here comes Alfie BOWTELL. He's going to put Sam under all sorts of pressure if he can.
Sam Hagen's really got that bike geared aggressive. He's got his uncle Martin Dugard, obviously former rider in the pits of him. I know from working with Martin, he does gear the bikes very aggressively, and you can see Sam every time his wheels are in line, that bike is really pulling him forward. So I don't think anyone's going to catch him now unless he puts a foot wrong. But no, you know, 3-3, it's solid, isn't it?
Certainly is, and it looked like Alfie BOWTELL just got out of shape a little bit on bends 3 and 4 on lap 2. But out in front, Sam Hagen, well, he was down here a few weeks ago in a British Youth Qualifier, and this is showing everybody what he's capable of. That was very impressive from the Pirates number 2. Alfie BOWTELL takes a second in red. It's a third place in blue for Jacob Hook. Max Perry at the back in fourth. It's a 3-all. Continues to keep that 4-point lead for the Gladiators on the evening, but that was a mighty impressive ride from Sam Hagen. It'll be really interesting to clock the time here, 53.4, which is about a second over what Ben Barker's time was. It didn't look like that.
No, it definitely looked quicker than that.
It certainly looked like he was a lot quicker, but that will give him a lot of confidence as he goes towards his last ride later on. But the result for Heat 8 is a 3-all. In the winner in white is Sam Hagen, second in red Alfie BOWTELL, a point for Jacob Hook in third, and Max Perry with a fourth place at the back. 26-22, 58-80 is the aggregate score. That's starting to look a little bit redundant now. I think, you know, I want to try and keep the faith. I'm a typical Plymouth sports fan, got to try and keep the faith as best we can, but with rides like this from Sam Hagen, it's going to be difficult to try and get back into this now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you say, you want to keep the faith and keep the spirits high, but
Sam Hagen, a jet propelled. I mean, I've used that cliche already about Ben Barker. Alfie BOWTELL had a chance there at the inside, but from that moment, oh hello, you don't want to see these two on camera.
No, definitely not.
Give you a little wave at home, catching us hard at work.
Repping the John Deere hat.
Repping the John Deere hat. Yeah, you can see my really poor choice of jumper and jeans combo there.
I think you look quite sophisticated, Joe.
Thank you very much. You're awfully generous. 3-all there, 26-22. The scoreline.
No, it's looking good. You know, say 4 points up at this stage of the meeting. It's that's great. You know, I honestly, if you had told me that had been the scoreline before the meeting, I probably would have snapped your arm off, to be honest. But no, you know, this is the point now where sometimes the Gladiators fall short a little bit, and the Pirates will start to gear up. But if we can keep this momentum going. You know, Dan's already pulling wheelies out the pit gate, so he's obviously confident about this one, and he's partnered with his brother in this one.
We
as
are,
well.
yes. We're going to have a reserve change here. Jason Garrad is out of this heat after 2 rides so far. We're going to see Joe Thompson come out in blue. So we've got the Thompson twins going up against Ben Cook and Tobias Thompson here in heat number 9. They announced that there was only 1 minute left on the 2-minute start allowance. I didn't actually hear any bikes fired up behind me. I think that caught everybody unawares. It certainly caught me unawares that the 2 minutes were on. We got three of the 4 out on the track at the moment. We're just waiting for Tobias to join the party. It's a lovely evening, Tobias. You don't want to miss out. We don't get many of them down here these days.
Just 10 seconds remaining.
10 seconds remaining, and we're going to have a bit of grass tracking from Tobias. Watch your toes.
It's getting ready for that grass track later in the month in Cornwall.
Certainly is, and get along if you are in the area. It really is great entertainment. But the lineup for heat number 9 off the inside in white: Ben Cook, Joe Thompson 2, Tobias Thompson 3, Dan Thompson in gate number 4. And we've got an
It's a bit of twitch in there from Tobias, I see. I don't know if he's got a bit of an issue with his clutch, because it seemed every time he revved. Oh, okay.
Oh. Tobias Thompson is out.
He's out.
Didn't make the 2 minutes, which is interesting. As I mentioned, I didn't actually hear the 2 minute announcement.
No, I didn't actually. That's the first
in.
time tonight I haven't heard it.
That is a bit of a surprise. Tobias Thompson is out though of heat number 9. I must be honest, counting isn't my forte, but the 10 seconds were announced and then he appeared on track, and it doesn't take 10 seconds to get from the pit exit down to the start line, but obviously we don't have the access of a stopwatch in front of us. So
hey, it's good for the Gladiators, it's good for me.
Yeah, Gary Allen, tonight's Speedway referee, has adjudged that Tobias Thompson is out of heat number 9, and the riders are going to come back to the pits by the looks of it. They're just going to being encouraged to come back towards the pits, and we are going to see Max Perry come out in place of Tobias Thompson in yellow. Probably no real surprise. Poole would want 4 riders just in case.
Well, that's it, you know, all it takes is for a rider to throw a chain, get a puncher or slide off, you know, so it's every point at this stage is vital.
And now we can hear the 2 minutes time allowance come on. Maybe it was just the fact that we were distracted by our faces being on the live stream.
Well, the thing is, you are prone to quite a lot of ducks flying over the Coliseum, so it is hard to sort of not recognise it as a 2-minute alarm and maybe a flock of ducks.
Certainly is. Well said. As we get the new lineup then for heat number 9 in front of us, and in white here is Ben Cook. In blue, off gate number 2 is Joe Thompson replacing Jason Garrad. Off gate number 3, replacing Tobias Thompson, who was excluded from the original running, is Max Perry. And off gate number 4 in red is Dan Thompson. So the favoured 2 and 4 for the Gladiators here. Obviously, Joe will be looking to get a jet-propelled start. I'm going to see how many more times I can get that in before heat 15.
I reckon a couple more at least.
Certainly
for sure.
Certainly do. Max just having a good go at gardening there on gate number 3.
You might even say that was a jet-propelled gardening.
If there is such a thing. But they are being called to the tapes then. So we do have a full complement of 4 riders then for heat number 9. I'm sure that will be explained to us a little bit later on what went on. The green light is on. Tapes are up, a little bit of movement by the rider in blue. But coming across on the inside, Ben Cook says thank you very much and see you later. Ben Cook's out in front here, slotting into second now is Dan Thompson. He will set after the Pirates captain. Brother Joe is back in third, Max Perry at the back in fourth. Ben Cook says gate 1, no problem.
No, I say Ben made a jet-propelled start then from gate 1, and you know, Dan's closing in. You know, he is finding good speed. Obviously, Ben beat him in the previous heat, so he's going to want to try and get that one back for sure. But
he certainly is. I don't know whether Ben had a little look there, but he certainly saw the line that Dan's been taking into Ben 1 and 2 and followed the same line, but with a lap to go then. Ben Cook looking very smooth and stylish out in front. The Thompson twins not really making any inroads, but then again, in terms of the fixture on the night, they don't really need to. Ben Cook just squares up a little bit into Ben 4, but does take the win and takes it quite comfortably. Second in red was Dan Thompson. Third in blue is Joe Thompson. Too many Thompsons. And back at the back in yellow was Max Perry. Yet another roar from the back straight from the Pirates fans greets Ben Cook's victory. Again, another fast looking time, 53.20 for Ben as he gets the win. But as I mentioned, for the Gladiators, we just take a quick look at the score. 3 points for Ben Cook, 2 for Dan Thompson, 1 for Joe Thompson. Max Perry at the back with a last place, 29.25, 61.83 on aggregate. But as we mentioned, from a pure fixture point of view, a 3-3 for the Gladiators really isn't the end of the world.
no, you know, 100% right. It's you know, you can see on the replay here. Obviously, you can see Ben's on the outside of gate 1 there, so there's definitely material from that outside of gate 1 to that inside of gate 3. So it seems to be the favoured spot for the boys to go. Dan made a very good start. Then you can see his lightning quick reactions when the tapes went. But say when Ben Cook hits the front, he's a hard rider of the pass.
He certainly has. And we have got the 2 minute time allowance on here for heat number 10, and we will await news from the Gladiator pits as to who's going to come out in red.
Okay, so the 2 minutes has been cancelled.
I was going to say I would expect Joe Thompson might come out in red, and he will do. So we are going to have the 2 minutes cancelled there. Joe will have a back-to-back stint out on the track in heat number 10. And I don't want to take away from the fact that Poole are going to qualify. As we look at the gate stats, we have got that win now off gate number 1. Interesting, the 2 outside gates. This goes back to what we've been talking about. The 2 outside gates there were just the 1 winner piece. Gate 2 is the place to be, isn't it? 5 wins, 17 points so far, a couple of wins for gate 3. But it's that middle of the track. Whilst the inside and outside gates are picking up good points, the wins are coming from the centre.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I mean, again, you can see there's a few deep ruts appearing now on the very outside of 4, but you can see that darker material right in the centre of the track, which is obviously right, you know, gate 2, and you can see why the material's working well.
And whilst I've never sat on a speedway bike and wouldn't have the what's the word that I can get away with? I wouldn't have the effort, should we say, to get on a speedway bike. A push bike's just enough for me. I wouldn't tell a speedway rider what to do, but it certainly seems like the outside of gate 2, inside of gate 3, that middle line, I'm going to keep going on about it, that is the place to be, isn't it? And maybe Alfie BOWTELL off 2 and Zach Cook off 3 will explore that in this next heat.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to need to, because obviously, you know, we're 4 points up, which is great, but that's not enough at this stage of the meeting to sort of, you know, not ease off, that would probably be the wrong choice of words, but, you know, to relax a little bit. They got a strong pairing. I mean, I know Tom Brennan's only got 1 point to his name so far, but, you know, we know Tom's better than that, you know, and he's out with Zach Cook, so, you know, it's going to be a hard heat, especially for, you know, effectively what is heat 2 pairing really for the Gladiators.
Yeah, this is going to be a tall order, but hey, look, we're 4 points up on the night. I don't think many people would have predicted that coming in, but it just goes to show, I think, just how tight a group this Gladiators unit is that even in adversity with 2 riders out, they're still able to pull together, and they're putting on a really good show here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's something that the team have, you know, it's noticeable on track and off track this season. The team spirit and morale of the team is fantastic. That's something I think we definitely lacked last season, 100%. I feel last season it was kind of more everyone was just sort of riding for themselves, but this year they're a unit, they're united as a unit, and they're riding good as a unit. So yeah, long may that continue.
Long may it continue indeed. Don't worry, Pirates fans watching on the stream, we aren't far away from giving you some praise as well. Of course, 8 points is all that's needed now for a place in the BSN Series semi-finals. It would be remiss of us not to touch on that brilliant achievement as they go to defend their crown. But for the meantime, we can enjoy the fact that the Gladiators are 4 points up in what has largely been a pretty successful BSN Series for the Gladiators. As we take a look at the lineup for heat number 10, off the inside in yellow is Tom Brennan. Off gate number 2 in blue is Alfie BOWTELL. 5 paid 6 to his name so far. 5 points for Zach Cook off gate number 3. We've seen how good he has been so far. And Joe Thompson, yet again ever consistent, there at number 6 for the team. He will come off gate number 4 in red when he eventually joins us. There's a minute remaining, Joe. We don't want to see a repeat of what we saw in the last heat, and we certainly won't as he gets onto track in good time and receives a nice cheer from the back straight.
It's one thing I always used to love back in the day when I was a Plymouth Devil is you come out the pit gate, you go down that back straight, and you can actually hear that cheer from under the helmet, and it just gives you that last little bit of confidence booster before you hit the tapes. And in my case, it's usually last up the tapes every time, but no, it's nice, you know. Even when the pool riders are going around, you know, there's a bit of noise there, so it's good, isn't it?
At least you'd have got to the tapes out of the 2 of us. That's the main thing. So up they come then. These 4 have got to the tapes, and we're about to see what they've got for us in heat number 10. Green light is about to come on, and it's a level break, as to be said. Coming across from the outside in red was Joe Thompson, but it's Tom Brennan who makes the gate off gate number 1. Tom Brennan it is then who takes the lead. Slotting into second place is Alfie BOWTELL in blue. Joe Thompson is going to try and wind it on in behind Zach Cook, but this is more the Tom Brennan we've been expecting.
100%. Obviously, you can see how Alfie is coming under a little bit of pressure from Zach. You can see Joe's putting pressure on Zach, so we just need Alfie to ride smart now. It's a 4-2 against us, but it's better than a 5-1 against us, you know, so Alfie just needs to ride his race, ride a sensible line, and just wrap it up.
Yeah, this one might not be over then with 226 metres to go. Zach Cook is going to really put Alfie BOWTELL under pressure, but don't rule out Joe Thompson, who's not far off the pace either. Meanwhile, out in front, Tom Brennan. This is silky, this is stylish. This is the Tom Brennan we've come to expect when he's been racing around the Coliseum. Tom Brennan it is then who takes the win in heat number 10. Zach Cook really wasn't far away in the end, but it is Alfie BOWTELL who does hold on to that second place. It's a 4-2 reversal in favour of the Pirates to bridge the gap to 2 points on the night. It's a welcome win for Tom Brennan, as mentioned before the meeting, that he was due to be in Poland but has been rerouted to sunny Devon this evening, so that will really please him. And there is the result in heat number 10, a 4-2 to the Pirates. Tom Brennan with a win in yellow, a second for Alfie BOWTELL, who's had yet another consistent night. Zach Cook in third with a point, and Joe Thompson with a rare duck egg at the back in fourth. But as we mentioned, that Tom Brennan was meant to be overseas. He's in Devon, and he's shown just how to do it again off gate number 1.
Yeah, you know, great ride from Tom. He needed that in this meeting. You know, it's coming off a third and last is very uncharacteristic for Tom, especially in the championship. But no, he made a brilliant start. Really, you know, worked that bike to the first corner, and yeah, gone. Stylish, smooth, classic Tom Brennan, really.
Yeah, it certainly was, and there was a good battle actually. I know a lot is made that there's a lack of passing down at the Coliseum, but there was a good battle going on there at the back between the other three riders as we take a trip into the pits just to see what's going on. 31-29 is the score. I've managed to fudge my scorecard in front of me, which is I've done well to get to heat 10 before I made a mistake, it has to be said. And I didn't bring any Tipp-X, so we'll just have to roll with it, what's on the screen, and we'll make sure that the wonderful team here at Gladiators TV will not put me wrong.
Don't worry, I do the program and I usually make a mistake in the scorecard in the print anyway, so
excellent.
You're okay.
As I mentioned earlier, it normally takes an episode of Garry May Sudoku, my scorecard. But let's have a look at the team scores then. We'll try and work out, I'll get Mattie to work out what rider replacement has scored so far this evening. Alfie BOWTELL with 7+1 from his 4 rides. Dan Thompson with 9 from 4, a win in 3 seconds. Jason Garrad yet to score from 2. Ben Barker with back-to-back wins after that third place in heat number 1. Joe Thompson with 5 paid 6. Jacob Hook with 3 third places, 3 paid 4. Garry May sits on 31. Over to the Pirates, Richard Lawson with 5 from 2. Sam Hagen with 4 paid 5 with a win in his last ride. Zach Cook with 6 from his 3. Tom Brennan with a win there, 4 from 3. Ben Cook looking really good now, 8 points from his 3 rides. He's been the most impressive rider, I think, for me so far tonight, Ben Cook. When he's got out in front, he really has shown everybody what he's capable of. Tobias THOMSEN with 2 from 2. Of course, with that curious exclusion from heat number 9, and Max Perry with 0 from 4. But let's talk about the POOLE Pirates then. It's been, last season with that BSN series win last year, comfortably beating Glasgow 104.76. It looks like, of course, there is still plenty of speedway left to go, but let's be fair, it's 4 points, so it looks like the proverbial lady is clearing her throat to give us a bit of a sing-song. But
what we could do with is the machine examiners maybe putting a bit of sugar in the old fuel tanks of the Pirates. But no, I mean, fair play to the Pirates. You know, they've done what they've had to do. They're having a comfortable meeting as it stands here. We said earlier, we touched at mid-low, they always seem to put together a good team regardless of who they've got. And it's just showing again. It's fantastic. And they got lovely looking race suit this season.
They have. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I've always admired about POOLE, is even through the days of your Chris Holders, your Darcy Wards, your David Wards, it was always an aesthetically pleasing race suit.
Envious.
Yes, yes, and I think we need more aesthetically pleasing race suits. Of course, we shouldn't complain about the Plymouth one, the lovely blue and yellow with a hint of black there over the shoulders. We look at Ben Barker cleaning his bike as he waits to come out in heat number 11. I believe I heard we're going to have a reserve switch in this one, so Garry May is off for the first time this season. I think that we're playing Garry May Sudoku.
Yeah,
he hasn't switched his reserves up too much this season.
No, and now that we've been saying Garry May Sudoku most of the evening, that could be a feature in future programs.
Do we think Gary's got an earpiece and he's listening to us? Good evening, Garry, if you are listening, as he takes a look to see what's going on the track. We've got a nice collection of riders at the track. There is Garry with he's always well turned out in that white shirt.
Yeah, I mean that shirt looks crisp every week, doesn't it?
It certainly
no stains, beautiful, just the right amount of starch, not a lot of crease. Brilliant.
Let's touch on Garry then, because while he's in shot for you at home, he came into the club now a couple of years ago, obviously to the sad demise of the Somerset Rebels. And there he is. He's got an average of 7.82.
That's a brilliant average.
Let's see if he can improve on that across the
I think that was better average in his racing days.
Well, you never know. And of course, his racing days were vast. POOLE in 1980. Let's not forget he did turn out for POOLE in 1980. Good career at
I
the
believe
likes
Crayford was Crayford one.
Crayford,
Yeah.
Weymouth a couple of times as well, with a bit of Reading, Scunthorpe, and even Middlesbrough. He fancies a bit of the North East in there as well. But,
Up the Tigers.
He's had it tricky, hasn't he, Garry? In fairness to him, with everything that's gone on. We had the injuries in the first season.
You can see Martin Dugard there. Obviously a legend in British Speedway. That, not to forget, as a wild card in the 2000 GP round at Coventry, winning that.
Well,
it's a pretty impressive feat.
We're blessed. We're blessed tonight by the crowd.
Still very active. Obviously, his nephew is Sam Hagon, so still very active on the scene.
Sam Hagon is well related, isn't he? Obviously, being the son of former Sheffield and Ipswich rider, 2 times British Masters grass trap champion Martin Hagon, and I don't think you can quite say enough about his grandfather with all the track titles he won back in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I mean, that Hagon and then Dugard sort of heritage is iconic in British Speedway, isn't it? Especially the Dugard family, pretty much they are Respawn Speedway, aren't they? So
and this is something historically, I think, certainly since I've been following Speedway, that Poole have done really well at, is that they've really honed in on the bright stars of Speedway. It doesn't have to be British. We had that Australian dynasty of, as I mentioned earlier, Chris Holder, Darcy Ward, Davey Watt, all of those good Australian riders.
So we can see there, I believe that's Richard Lawson's bike. It's just adjusting the timing there. It's either setting it back or forward. So that'll make the bike react a little bit different. So maybe might give him a bit more at the start, maybe a little bit less straight line speed, but more at the start. Obviously at this moment with fresh water being a bit greasy, starts are going to be more crucial, because if you can get out and on that racing line, you're not really going to need maximum speed to stay in front, just ride that sensible race. But no, you can just see obviously he's due to come out and just making a few little tweaks. They've seen the work that Mark's doing to the track and thought, well, you know what, I fancy a bit of that, so just make a slight little tweak and off he goes.
Yeah, we'll touch back on Poole's riders a little bit later on as we when it comes around that the results official. Of course, this will be the second instalment of Barker versus Lawson here in heat number 11. We'll have a trilogy in heat number 13, and I am not really a gambling man. I suspect we might have a quadruple in heat 15.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. Sometimes trilogies are good, but that last Rocky movie wasn't too bad,
No, that's very true, and there are several big fights in boxing that you tend to get trilogies, but this isn't boxing, this is Speedway, and we've got heat number 11 coming your way. The sun is setting. I'm just looking out ahead of me now. It's not far off going behind the trees. It's still a glorious evening here in Devon, it really is, and I can't stress that the weather has been pretty grim through the winter. We see Maximus going over to the
he's having a good
famous
jig there.
Bar Bandits, of which I am a very proud member.
Yeah, a bit of a rowdy lot, isn't they?
Yeah, yeah, rabble they are, rabble. No, they go far and wide with the club. I believe they will be going up to Glasgow in a few weeks. I think they're off to Workington as well soon, aren't we? There's a group going up to Workington. There'll be a group going to the British Speedway Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, I know like Gavin Phillips. I don't think he's missed a meeting home or away this year. He's
Gavin was at Poole and he was providing us with some great updates along with the excellent Speedway Updates website. Maximus trying to get the crowd going. It's still possible.
He's dancing with my son then. Rather.
Quick look inside the referee's box. Larry just going to tell us what's going on. We got the referee in the shot as well, trying to get himself out of shot. Gary Allen doesn't want to be on camera this evening.
You can just see then when you saw the riders going out the pit gate, where it's just a little bit shiny on top. We obviously got that greasy surface now, where, well, not greasy, but it's that top layer of grease. So as I say, that would probably be why Richard was making those adjustments to the timing, just to give him that good gate so he can get on that line he wants.
We're going to see it in a minute on the graphic when it comes up with the lineup. I hate to be doom and gloom for the Gladiators, but I'm going to deliver some bad news in a second. Off the inside in red is Ben Barker. Off gate 2 in white is Richard Lawson. I suspect you get those stopwatches ready at home. Gate number 3 in blue is Jacob Hook. Gate 4 in yellow is Sam Hagon. They're off the inside too. This could be interesting.
I smell a rerun.
Let's hope not. We've gone so well so far without reruns. We don't want too many stoppages. We had a late finish at Poole, obviously with a couple of injuries recently. Obviously we wish all the riders involved in those speedy recoveries. We had a couple of incidents here against Workington at the last championship meeting as well. Nobody likes to see a Speedway rider get injured. It's sadly part and parcel of the job. But you know, we wish all those involved in crashes at recent Gladiators and Pirates meeting speedy recovery. 30 seconds to go. I don't think we really have to worry about that. The riders are at the tapes. Sam Hagen just having another good look at gate 4. Just the one rut so far of gate number 4. It seems that everyone's just favouring that one spot at the moment.
Yeah, I usually say with that build-up of dirt on the outside, you usually get a very, very deep rut there you'll see them sink into. So a lot of them will dig it out, so you've sort of got that rubber on rubber feel, but a lot will kick some dirt and then pack it in. But it's
Sam's almost in the NHS stand.
Yeah, you watch him.
Yeah.
As soon as that green light goes on, he'll probably just pull back the bike a bit and he'll roll down and it'll be like a rocket.
Here we go. Green light is on for heat number 11, and away they go. Richard Lawson makes the gate. As expected, Lawson flies out of gate 2. Jacob Huggett is he's slotted into second place. What will Ben Barker do? He's going to try and got the inside and claim that second place. He's got the bit between his teeth, Ben Barker. He wants to try and hunt down Richard Lawson, but around the Coliseum, Richard Lawson's a very hard man to pass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, say, with that sort of how the track is at the minute, I don't think you'll see anyone pass Richard now, but Ben's given it a good go. Again, it's a free, but it keeps us ahead by 2, so yeah, it's good for business.
Yeah, we will keep talking in the context of this fixture as Poole look to be heading straight for the BSN Series semi-finals. Richard Lawson is out in front. I do wonder if he's trying to get another track record just to cement his trip to Devon this evening, but he is looking imperious again. And this is what we've got from the Poole riders this evening. When they've been out in front and untroubled, they are looking silky smooth, they are looking confident. And Richard Lawson it is who takes the win in heat number 11. Second in red was Ben Barker, another third place for Jacob Hook. It's been another consistent night for Jacob without doing anything flash. Sam Hagen at the back. It's a 3-all, it's 34-32. It's a second win from 3 rides for Richard Lawson that he moves on to 8. That was a little bit slower actually. Of course we have just had some track watering, so perhaps I was a little bit premature with the talk of track records. But it's a 3-all, and there is your result. A win in white for Richard Lawson, second in red Ben Barker, he gets the 2 points. Another third place Jacob Hook as mentioned in third in blue, and a fourth place at the back for Sam Hagen. 66-90, 34-32. Poole now are guaranteed a superheat for a place in the semi-finals.
Fair play to them. You know, they've done what they had to do. You can only beat who you're up against, and they've done that, and they've done that well. So yeah. Would have been nice to see Plymouth, but you know, fair play to the Gladiators, the Pirates.
Well, fair play to the Gladiators. They are 2 points up on the night.
Yeah, but, you know,
we shouldn't lose sight of
respectively a 5-man team, really.
Yes, yeah, and as we mentioned, as Ben puts his glasses on, and he's going to make his way up to the viewing platform and get a good view of heat number 12. I sense an interval coming after heat number 12. As we as we come down towards heat number 12, Larry trying to get the Gladiators crowd going that they need every point they can, and we certainly do. As mentioned, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that a fixture win tonight would be great for confidence. So off the inside in red is Dan Thompson. Gate number 2 in yellow is Tobias Thompson. Gate number 3 in blue is Joe Thompson. We have a reserve switch here, Joe replacing Jacob Hook. And off the outside in white is Zach Cook. So we have the Thompson twins, we have Tobias Thompson. What could possibly go wrong as a commentator with Thompson, Thompson and Thompson off 1, 2 and 3.
I'm tongue-tied.
Yeah, good luck. So here we go. And off the outside in white, Zach Cook. That's a nice easy name. Perhaps he will be able to put the pressure on from the gate. We've got Tobias Thompson just having a look at gate number 2. Thompson twins off 1 and 3, and Zach Cook it is then who will slot into gate number 4. And this is a really interesting heat 12, as I say, in context of the meeting. We've got a rider replacement ride coming out in 13. The Gladiators could do with a heat advantage here just to try and build up a buffer as they look to get that win on the night.
Yeah, they don't want it to slip now. They've got this close, say, but last heat before the interval, I believe. So, you know, they'll want to go into the interval in front still and confident. They
certainly will. The riders are at the tapes. Heat number 12 on the evening here at the Coliseum. Green lights on. And away they go, and coming across in blue there, Joe Thompson goes wide, catches the air fence. Dan Thompson up the inside. In yellow though, it's Tobias Thompson. Oh, this is tight. Tobias Thompson and Dan Thompson. Now we've got Zach Cook in white and Joe Thompson at the back. It's Thompson and Thompson with Zach Cook splitting them. But Tobias Thompson, that's a better ride.
He's definitely done something to that bike. I mean, you can see he's riding a lot more aggressive and really dominating. But wow, what a first lap of Speedway that was.
We haven't been short of entertainment this evening, that's for sure. As Tobias Thompson leads then from Dan Thompson in second, Zach Cook slotting to third. Joe Thompson just caught the air fence as he went on the bends 1 and 2 on the first lap. But now Dan Thompson is just sniffing a chance against Tobias Thompson. It's a very slim chance, but you can bet your bottom dollar he won't give it up. But as they come towards the checkered flag, Tobias Thompson it is who levels up the scores as we approach the interval. That is an important 2-4 in favour of the Pirates. A big roar from the Pirates fans on the back straight. It's a win in yellow for Tobias Thompson. And as I keep mentioning, we are not short of entertainment this evening. Tobias Thompson, who was a pleasing start in heat number 1, got a little bit caught out in his second ride, but that was much more like it around a tight technical track. As we just quickly take the result, Tobias Thompson with 3 and takes the win in yellows. Second for Dan Thompson in red, another good night for him. Zach Cook with a third place in white. Joe Thompson with a last place in fourth. It's 36-36, and I can officially say that congratulations to the POOLE Pirates, who have qualified for the semi-finals of the BSN series. They cannot be caught this evening as we take a look at the replay before Mattie goes to get some views from the pit lane. Let's take a look at this replay. And this is not for the faint-hearted, this first lap.
No, I mean, that was worth the entry money alone, I think. I mean, how did Joe Thompson stay on that bike? Mid-corner wheelie, wow.
Yeah, and he, to be fair, he's almost around the outside of Zach Cook there, but he just squares up a little bit, and Zach's got that inside line. Perhaps Dan just wasn't quite far enough ahead for Joe to fly around the outside. Yeah, I mean, that fence and bike's coming awfully quick. But that really was all she wrote there in heat number 12. As Tobias Thompson takes the win. Dan Thompson, he's looking silky and stylish in second, to be fair. He's having yet another good night for the Gladiators. Zach Cook hasn't been far off the pace himself, a pleasing night. You know, a lot of the riders have been on the pace this evening, and it has been an impressive night so far for riders on both teams, as me and Mattie mentioned. You know, the Gladiators coming in light on numbers. But let's head down to the pits and let's join Mattie's series caught up with. So as we take the interval now at the Coliseum, we head into the pits. You can see there Garry May having a chat there with Alfie BOWTELL. 36 apiece at the minute. The Gladiators, the Pirates have fought back quite hard in the last couple heats and got that 0.2 dead even tie going in. So still everything to race for. Obviously, POOLE have advanced to the final staging of the BSN series, but it's been a brave performance from the Gladiators as yet. Really, respectively, a 5-man team tonight, and you know, the boys are doing very well. You can see a few changes going there. It looks like Joe Thompson's dropping a tooth. Dan Thompson looks like he might be changing a jet in the carb. So, you know, there is adjustments going on. Looks quite cool and collected down here still. But no, it's been a great meeting. I mean, that last heat, wow, what a first lap of Speedway. We'll see if we can get a quick word with Garry May before anything produces. All right, Garry, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So obviously going into the next race, you're 36 apiece, but it's been a brave effort from the lads so far.
Yeah, fantastic tonight. You know, POOLE at full strength, and you know, we're missing 2 riders, and at the moment we've only got 3 points for those races. So no, I'm well happy with the boys. They really put up a good fight tonight, and it's not over yet. You know, we still can maybe pinch it or whatever, but let's see what happens in these next 3 races.
No, 100%. I mean, you know, looking at it as a spectator's point of view, I mean, if the team can perform this well, I mean, I know we're at home, but they can perform this well with effectively a 5-man team against a full-strength POOLE Pirates who are currently second in the league. Yeah. That's a good thing of things to come.
Yeah, you know, once we get, we'll have Newman back and then Cavadi, yeah, and we should be a good side, you know. Like I said before, the boys rode really well at Edinburgh, and they, you know, with a Watson, whatever his name was, at number 1, you know. But no, we really rode well, and no, I'm well happy with the boys, the way they're going. They're really good.
Is there any news on when Nico might be ready to ride again, or is it just sort of like wait and see type thing?
Yeah, I think the other day he come back too early, you know, and but the trouble is these riders need to come back because they're not earning any money. And it's no good them sitting at home, so they come back and try. And obviously, if things don't work out, like Nico caught his leg, and give him a bit of pain. So, but they've got to try. They can't do it now. I know they practice. Well, like Mattie, practice is nothing. Yeah. He's just going around. You're not with 4 other riders. You know what I mean? So it's just a case he's coming back and just trying it like Lou. Louis Kerr. But he had a couple of bangs. But he's just got to keep coming back because they're sitting at home and in nothing. You know what I mean? And Nico was unlucky. Got wiped out in his very last race in Argentina. Otherwise, he would have been with us, fully fit. So that's it, really.
Yeah. The curse of Plymouth continues. But good luck with the rest of the meeting, Garry, and hope the lads do well. So, word there from Garry May. That's what I like about interviewing Garry. Very honest, very to the point. You can see in the pool pit, Sam Hagon. He's had not a bad night at number 2. A very, very good race win. Bike looks great. The way he was riding looked fantastic. And a cheeky little smile from him as well, look. What more could you want? See Richard Lawson there, obviously broke the track record tonight. Fantastic moustache as well. That's one of Paco Castagna to be envious, I'm sure. You can see there the Zach Cook. Looks like he's doing sprockets. So it looks like he's probably going to drop down a few teeth on the back wheel. Possibly. It's hard to tell. Both the bikes look so similar, But one of the Cook brothers is making a sprocket adjustment anyway. But we look over to there. We can see Tobias THOMSEN. He had a fantastic last race. We'll see if we can grab a word with him. Tobias, all right to grab a word? So your first appearance here. That last race, wow, fantastic. What do you think of
it? You need to get used to it, that's for sure. It's a really different circuit to so many else, so you need to dial in on this one. Also setup-wise, but I think we're getting there now, yeah. Also with me on the bike, I feel more comfortable out there now with the corners and how you attack it. So, no, it's good when you get around it, yeah.
I was saying during your heat win, actually to the other commentator, Joe, that you looked a lot more, not say you weren't in control, but you looked a lot more fierce on the bike and like you were really trying to fight the bike, and it looked fantastic to watch. A really, really good win.
I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, but as I said, when you get dialed in, it's just so much easier. Also, when you're in the front, you can just go wherever you want. So the hard thing about this track is when someone on front of you starts to shut a bit off and they take your momentum, right? And it's so narrow on the track, so you're always trying to crash each other, So it's an intense track, but I enjoyed it, yeah.
Well, good luck for the rest of the meeting. I'm sure we'll see you out again. Thank you. So a word there from Tobias THOMSEN. Not a bad performance for his first ever one, especially that last race. Wow, what if that is his last race of the evening, what a way to end it. We can see Martin Dugard and Martin Hagen over there. Looks like Sam's done for the night, packing up his stuff. But no, it's been a good effort from both teams, really. The Gladiators, for what they've had to overcome, obviously with really a 5-man team against a full-strength pool. But no, it's been a great meeting. The racing is starting to heat up, most definitely. You can see Ben Barker there, thumbs up from Ben. Cool collected. As always, we'll see if we can grab a quick word with Ben in a minute, actually, before I nip back up onto comms. Want to grab a word? So, good night so far. You lost your track record, didn't you?
I'm not worried about that. It's about the team winning, so we'll get that back. I missed the start in Heat 1. We know that's the best time to get it. But that's the way it is.
I was talking to Garry just a minute ago, and we were saying effectively you're a 5-man team tonight, but you're against a full-strength Pirates. So, and the team is riding well all season. You've been a strong unit. Do you think the team atmosphere is better this season opposed to last season?
Yeah, we all know that. Well, I don't know if it's public knowledge, but the Pirates are making a change after tonight. So, but that's the way it is. They're making changes, and we're just under strength at the moment with no Nico. Yeah,
we're speaking to Garry about that. We're sort of saying it's a wait and see when he's back. But no, the rest of you lads are really pulling the weight good, and long may that continue.
Yeah, we've got a great team spirit here, and that is what it's about. And if we want Nico back in the team because he's a good addition to us. We're missing Kyle; he's also a great addition. So the bunch of lads we got here though is so it's fun. And that is going a long way, because we were written off bottom of the league contenders. We went away, won at Edinburgh, and run them close at Berwick. So they're 2 bonus points I feel we can get. So no, I think it's looking positive for us. We're out of the BSN Cup, we're pretty sure. And we just got to start now.
Yeah, I mean, as you touched on bonus points away, I mean, I wrote in the programme notes a few meetings ago that the team potentially could be another Exeter Falcons 2000, where they once you establish that dominance at home, and then because you're doing so well away, you pick up the bonus points, and you know.
Yeah, please don't talk about that here, because my mechanic Simo, he don't shut up about it, you know. But no, exactly that, and that's what it's about. It's about winning at home, picking up bonus points. And, you know, we've got the Thompson twins and they're going really good. Dan is especially really good. And we've got strength at number 7. So, you know, that is a big thing. And that's what we are using to our advantage.
Well, have a good rest of the meeting, bud, and good luck to you and the team. So a word there from Gladiators skipper Ben Barker. Feeling pretty confident about tonight. A little bit disappointed with his performance, but I'll tell you what, I wouldn't mind having those points back when I was riding. But as we venture now back into the Pirates pits, we can see Tom Brennan there getting himself a bit of a brush down. Good win in his last race. Bit of a slow start, but looked very quick all night. Just not been in the right place at the right time, I feel. But see, the sun is setting nicely now over Plympton. But as we look forward to the meeting, I will now jump back up on the comms with Joe and speak to you shortly.
Cheers, Mattie. Yeah, the sun is setting. My 2-jumper policy may well still come into play, but we shall see. A couple of points to pick up on there. Tobias Thompson seems like a bit of a character. He's in good spirits with himself. Really interesting for him to say, as he said, that you know, once you get used to the Coliseum, that it becomes a lot easier to ride. It perhaps just took him those first couple of races. Mattie's joined me again, and I just want to pick up on 2 things. We'll come back to Tobias Thompson in a bit when we talk about Poole. Talked about the Thompsons. It was mentioned before the meeting in our interview with Joe that they're really enjoying it, the atmosphere is good. You're really getting that sense from this team, aren't you?
Oh, 100%. You know, it's a completely different team to we've had the last couple of seasons. Especially last season, I feel the team really didn't connect at all, really. But no, I mean, it's visible on track, it's visible off track. You know, it's enjoyment for me when I'm doing the pit interviews to actually walk down to pit lane now and see the sort of morale in the pits. Last season it was sometimes a little bit quiet down there, but different story, and you know, we can only look ahead with that, and you know, as the meeting wins come and the confidence builds, that morale's only going to get better. So yeah, I mean, it's great for the team, it's, you know, it's great for the city in general, and it's great for the riders.
The other thing I want to pick up on before we do go back to talking about Poole, Ben Barker was quite cool that, you know, I'm the captain, it's all about the team and things. He's seething that his track record's gone. I don't care what he says.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah, you can, you know, as we touched on earlier, Ben's very passionate about his speedway, especially Plymouth.
And that came through when you asked him the question about being a 5-man team tonight. You could really see, as a captain, as a leader, he is so proud of what that team's able to do in there tonight with a 5-man team, with a National League guest number 4, and you know, as we've said, Jason Garrad has been on the pace in the early laps of his 2 heats. They've just then got away from him in the race. This is a strong, positive unit. Oh,
100%. I mean, it's how you take away from tonight. I mean, you know, should the Pirates get ahead and win the meeting, it's for me, it's still a positive. As you say, we're a 5-man team against one of the toughest teams in the league at full strength, and we've run them this well so far. So it's only positive to me, you know, say when Nico returns, and obviously we'll have Kyle back on Tuesday, so it's all to play for, you know. It's yeah, I mean,
let's have a look then at the gate stats, and gate number 2 really is the golden highway this evening, isn't it? 7 wins out of gate number 2, 25 points it's yielded. Gate number 1 with 2 wins and 20 points, and then the outside gates, which usually teams seem to tend to favour the outside gates at the Coliseum. Just a win on gate 4, 2 wins on gate 3. Bit of a topsy-turvy night in respect of that, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I know from, you know, long ago, gate 4 was always the sort of gate to go for. Usually, if we'd lose the toss, we'd pray that the away team would take 1 and 3 just so we'd have 2 and 4. But no, it's I mean, that's good. You know, if the gates aren't the same every time, and you know, different gates are starting to produce stuff now, that's only good. Again, looking ahead, and yeah, I mean, it's just the whole vibe about this thing this place this year. It's just fantastic. You know, the effort that Mark and his loyal volunteers have put in, and you know, it can show. And again, you know, you look around the stadium and there's new buildings going up that will, I believe, one's going to be a bar, like a dedicated bar. So it's, you know, there's just always improvements going on here. And you look back to when it opened, when they had the VIP bus down on turn 4. I believe 2 heats later, all the windows had smashed out of it. But no, it's just a fantastic place to be. I mean, the morale from the team is one thing, but I think that's really affecting and you know, the sort of atmosphere within the crowd.
Yep, and you know, I mentioned to Ben Barker before we came on air tonight that, you know, the season restarts, if you like, on Tuesday night for the Gladiators at home to the Red Card Bears. A meeting you can catch on Gladiators Live TV. A couple of Tuesday night fixtures coming up with Berwick shortly after. Let's touch on the POOLE Pirates then before we get back underway in heat number 13. Just as I say that, the 2 minutes come on. So we'll touch on the POOLE Pirates after heat number 13.
Sounds good. It's a date.
It certainly is, and it's definitely something we should do. But as we come out with, let's play a bit of Garry May Sudoku. Let's see who we're going to have. We don't even need to do it because on cue, Larry tells us that Alfie BOWTELL it will be who will take the rider replacement ride for Nico Cavati. So here we go then. Heat number 13. It's all square on the night. 36 apiece, 68.94 in aggregate. The POOLE Pirates have secured that aggregate bonus point to take them through to the BSN series. But this is now a 3-heat mini meeting for confidence and pride and momentum to take forward into future fixtures when the Pirates, particularly when the Pirates come to town later in the year. But off the inside in gate number 1 is Richard Lawson. That chosen gate in gate number 2, it seems tonight, is Alfie BOWTELL in red. Gate 3 in yellow is Ben Cook. Gate 4 in blue is Ben Barker. This heat alone could be worth the entrance fee.
100%. You know, it's almost guaranteed fireworks, really. I mean, especially with Lawson coming off of 1 and Barker coming off of 4. They're going to meet somewhere in the middle, and it's going to be in turn 1, you know. So, you know,
you never know. Ben Cook might be out and gone by then.
Well, it could be, but I mean, the perfect scenario would be that Alfie outgates Lawson and traps him on that inside and lets Barker, because see that dirt line has built up now, and we all know Ben likes to get the leg back and back wheel in the dirt. So, yeah, this is a big heat for both teams. So I think this could really set the tone for the final heats of tonight's meeting.
If the track team thought there was plenty of dirt on Ben's 1 and 2 air fence at the moment, you wait till Ben Barker acquaints himself with it here in heat number 13. He will be going wide as he possibly can around the Coliseum. Alfie BOWTELL, as has been his wont this evening, will be the last one into line then. Ben Cook right over to the inside of his gate box. Here we go, heat number 13, and away we go. Ben Barker coming across. Oh, Ben Cook's down. Ben Cook's down off his bike. Ben Barker's in the fence as well. Oh my heavens above, it's all happening. Ben Barker there. We talked about that grip off Ben's 1 and 2, and Ben took a load of it there. The 2 Bens are down here. We'll just check to make sure they're okay. Ben Barker is being attended to. Ben Cook is sat up just outside the pit exit there. He's going to be looked at. Zach's there around him, as is Tom Brennan. Neil Middleditch goes to check him over. Ben Barker is still down on Ben's 1 and 2. That looked a nasty collision with the air fence.
Yeah, that was, you know, you could see, I think he thought he was going to get away with that sort of slight tap from Ben's bike then. But, I mean, luckily, it was an air fence he hit, and it wasn't, you know, the fence on the straight. But, I mean, Ben Cook done well to get off that, because, I mean, we've seen a few times this season.
Such is the nature of modern day speedway, and we're so grateful that air fences they're now mandatory, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, on the bends.
On the bends, they are, and you know, without them, we'd have a lot more serious injuries. We're just going to check on Ben Cook. He's being helped to his feet there. A warm round of applause around the Coliseum. Good to see. There is a friendly rivalry between the Gladiators and the Pirates, but it is all friendly. The old foes of recent seasons, as Midlow enjoys a coffee by the looks of it, down in front of us. And Ben Barker is up, throwing his arms around. Probably moaning now that he has to go and clean his Kevlars.
Yeah, he's got that Cornish pride. He'll dust himself down. It's a bit like Chris Harris in that final against Paul, actually, where Lewis Bridger ran over the top of him, and then the next scene was him running back to get ready. And he went out and won the rerun. But you know, it's
I think looking at him, he could do with a cold towel around his neck at the moment, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, for as bad as that was, it went as well as it could have gone. I mean, that could have been a lot more nasty than it was. Both Bens are okay.
Yeah.
We've seen flipping of the bike quite a few times this year. I know Michael Palmtoft done it at,
here we go. I think we're going to see a replay here. Let's see what happens then. Ben Cook, he lifts, and, well, in all fairness, there's not a huge amount that can be done about that. Ben Cook has lifted. The bike's just took off as he's gated, and Ben Barker, unfortunately, there was nowhere for him to go. There's no one to blame there, is
yeah,
there?
you can just see he's clutching it, and he just hits that last little bit of patch, and it just enough as he's mid-clutching it to send him up, and, you know, that just off-centers Ben going into the corner, and it's, you know, the domino effect.
It's just an unfortunate incident, I think, there, that, you know, as Ben Cook's come off his bike, that, you know, unfortunately Ben Barker was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Such as Speedway.
Well, yeah, and, you know, most of the time we're used to saying that Ben Barker's in the right place at the right time. Unfortunately, on that occasion he wasn't. Plenty of chatting going on around Alfie BOWTELL's bike here in 13 as bikes looked at in the pits.
I mean, to be fair, until you can see there's a looks like
a chain loose, was it?
Yeah, he's got the back wheel out. He's obviously with all this material, it's quite fresh going into turn 1. So when the bike comes up, and you get a lot of oil and shell and stuff, and it all sort of can clog up, and you got to make sure you have that stuff cleaned off, because if you don't, you could throw a chain.
Have a guess who's the first one on track for heat number 13. Ben Barker is straight back out. He's picked himself up, he's dusted himself down, and he is out onto the track then for heat 13. I really don't. I know Ben was annoyed that he ended up in the efforts. I'm really not sure there was anything.
No, I mean that was just a circumstance of racing. Ben Cook tried everything he could to get that bike down. Obviously, being quite a small lad, the sort of centre of gravity might not be on his side all the time. But what will be interesting is Ben Barker looked like he made a good start then, but it was hard to tell that initial run because of the collision. But you know, there's going to be a bit more room on the track now.
I must confess, I probably shouldn't do as the commentator. I had no idea who was in the lead as they went round to Ben 1 and 2. I had my eyes drawn to Ben Cook, and then I turned to my right and saw Ben Barker. I did say he would acquaint himself with the air fence. I didn't quite think he would take it that literally. I was sort of hoping he'd skim round the inside of it and fly around the dirt. But we are waiting for Ben Cook to join us at the line. We've got 3 of the 4. I think we might have an update on the stopwatch in a second as to how long Ben's got. Obviously there was nothing too serious wrong with the riders. There was no real prolonged stoppage there. He's got 1 minute 60 seconds for Ben Cook to get to the start. I don't think we'll be in any troubles here. I think we'd have probably found out by now if he was going to be struggling to get out onto the track. As we take the line up then for heat number 13, again off the inside for the rerun. Off the inside in white is Richard Lawson. Gate 2 in red is Alfie BOWTELL. Gate 3 in yellow is Ben Cook, when Ben is joining us in a few seconds. And off gate number 4 in blue is Ben Barker.
I'm quite surprised Ben Cook wasn't excluded in that race, actually, for being the cause of the... I know in past times, when I flipped the bike, I've been thrown out the race for...
I think it's one of them, isn't it? I think the start is... Well, the referee even's gone with the whole first lap, first bend incident, and thought the safest policy is all 4 back. Obviously, I'd wager a 10p that Ben Barker thought differently.
Yeah.
And I would wager that Ben Cook certainly thought that he shouldn't have been excluded, and he hasn't.
It'll be interesting to see whereabouts on the gate 3 Ben Cook goes now.
Oh, hello. We've got another 2-minute time allowance disqualification. Ben Cook has been disqualified.
It all adds to the drama of the meeting. The expectations are brilliant. It's always the same with Poole, you know, it's a bit of drama, a bit of excitement. It's all good.
I've been coming to Plymouth Speedway now for a number of years. I don't think I've quite seen 2 riders in one night disqualified for missing the...
Thankfully, it was both Poole riders.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can see Neil Middleditch is on the phone. I don't imagine he's currently asking Gary Allen for his address for a Christmas card.
I mean, in fairness, I mean...
He's not happy, is Midlow, and I can sort of understand it, because I did mention that there wasn't a great amount of time given to the 2 riders after that incident. They
not
both
considering,
took a while
no.
to get up.
No, he doesn't look best pleased, does he?
No.
Oh.
Don't worry about that, Midlow. Don't worry about that. Not amused. The pool team manager.
I mean, you know, you can look at it one of two ways, really. I mean, either way, Ben was excluded come the end, but you know, really, he could have been excluded from the rerun initially anyway. So, you know, same sort of outcome. But again, it's at a vital point of the meeting that the Gladiators now need to capitalise on.
I do wonder if that's what perhaps Midlow is getting at, is that this is a vitally important heat in context of the fixture. That, you know, a decision like that has come in, but Gary Allen is our appointed referee tonight. He has made that decision, and we're going to see Tobias Thompson get an outing here in heat number 13. Going back to what we had earlier when Tobias was excluded for the same infringement, it's just a case of pool wanting strength and depth in numbers here, isn't it? They want the fourth rider out there.
Yeah, of course. You know,
it's
as we touched on earlier, all it takes is for one rider to, you know, throw a chain or slip off, and it's those extra points that win your meetings. But I mean, obviously Tobias a reserve tonight, coming in this race as a reserve switch, but don't write him off after that last win. You know, that was a good win. I think regardless of who he had been out with in that race, they would have struggled to get past him.
And I did say while you were down in the pits, he's certainly a character, isn't he? He's in good form with himself, which is good to see.
He's got a lovely beard. I'll give him that. He's got like proper Viking style. You know, that's what I love about. Same with Nikolai Clint, that fellow Dane. You know, they've all got that.
Yeah. So here we go then. Let's have a look at another lineup then for heat number 13. Off the inside, still in white is Richard Lawson. Still in red off gate 2 is Alfie BOWTELL. Change now in yellow sees Tobias Thompson coming on gate number 3. Ben Barker will be in blue, but he's coming back to the pits. Get checking that timer. Less than a minute remaining. We don't want another time exclusion.
I'm not sure what was what he was saying, but I know he was politely told by the Thompson twins, his father, to get back to the start.
Yes. I think in no uncertain terms Ben was told to get on with it by his teammates, but he will now make up the quartet at the start line. Well, those of you who are watching at Gladiators TV, you're very welcome this evening. You are certainly getting your money's worth. As I can see through the trees, we have a lovely red sunset going on here. But here we go. You don't want to hear about the sunset, you want to hear about what's going on in heat 13, and we've got a bit of shenanigans at the start line. Alfie BOWTELL and Richard Lawson being told to separate. No quarter ass, none given by either of them, and it looks like Alfie BOWTELL it is who's going to move.
I mean, it's a tough call, you know, because the ruts are there, so obviously a rider has been there previous.
Here we go then, heat number 13, crucial heat in the context of the fixture. And Richard Lawson, as is tradition around the Coliseum, gets the gate. And Tobias Thompson up the inside. Tobias Thompson slots in a second. This is working a gem for the Pirates. Alfie BOWTELL's going around the outside. He's going to try and go around the outside of Tobias Thompson with Ben Barker up the middle. This is not what the Gladiators needed.
Definitely not at this point of the meeting. You can see, like, almost looks like Ben and Alfie are racing each other. I mean, you know, it's a hard one to call. You know, it was Alfie got a bit of a niggle from Lawson on the inside off the gate, and he then got another niggle from Thompson coming out of turn 2. So it was yeah, not a great start.
It isn't, and the two Gladiators now get awfully tight going into bend 1 and 2, but Richard Lawson out front with the support of Tobias Thompson, who came in at the last moment to replace Ben Cook. And what a result that is for the POOLE Pirates. It's a 5-1 in heat number 13 to the joy of the Pirates fans down the back straight. Well, I never. The Gladiators have been in so much control of the meeting, but as we reach heat 13, the POOLE Pirates wrestle control of the fixture. Richard Lawson, as he has done so many times when he's visited the Coliseum gates, he's out and gone, and it's a brilliant heat win for the Pirates. The graphic on the screen is wrong. Tobias Thompson did get second. It's Richard Lawson in first in white, Tobias Thompson in second in yellow. I think Ben Barker got third in blue, and Alfie BOWTELL, I think, retired on Ben's 3 and 4. And that gives the Pirates a 41 point to
37, sorry.
Is
37.
it 41?
Yeah.
37.
Bad maths.
And we're going to see Tobias Thompson back out in heat number 14, so we will have a bit of extra time. And that extra time, Mattie, will give us a chance to talk about Poole. We've just seen there just what they're capable of when they click. Tobias Thompson and Richard Lawson with a bit of team riding. You know, I think Midlow might have calmed down a little bit with that maximum in heat 13. I'm not sure Ben Cook will. But we talk about, a lot's been made about how well built the Gladiators are in the team. And we've seen tonight just how good Tobias Thompson is. He's obviously dropped to reserve tonight. We'll go back to the main body in midweek. They're covered all over as well, aren't they? Like, yeah, this is a strong, strong team that Poole have built.
It's very much, you know, like whoever drops it. It's kind of the same with Plymouth. You know, if Joe goes to the main body.
We're just seeing Ben Barker pretty animated with Garry May. But yeah, carry on.
You know, they're always going to have a good reserve, regardless of who drops down and who goes up. You know, they're always going to be solid throughout. And it was very much the same a couple of seasons ago when Poole signed Nathan Ablett. You know, Nathan, I believe it was his first full-time season in the championship. Nothing was expected of him, but, you know.
Final time, let's out to them, Gladiator fans!
We're having a bit of a shouting contest. I think the Poole Pirates might have won that.
I'm going to go with a tie.
A tie, an honourable tie.
An honourable tie.
I'll wager that
I think the bar bandits could have been a bit louder. You need to have a word with them, Joe.
Yeah, they're looking pretty solemn on Ben's too, unfortunately. But as an announcement goes around the stadium, great to see so many POOLE Pirates fans here for the BSN series. Final southern fixture between the Gladiators and the Pirates. Of course, Poole will be back here again, I think, next month. If I'm not much mistaken, they'll be back down here next month.
It's better than last season. It was every other week,
yes,
it seemed.
Yeah, we're very well acquainted with the POOLE Pirates these days, but they will be back here in the Cab Direct Championship. As mentioned, the Gladiators in action on Tuesday night at home to Redcar in the Cab Direct Championship. A fixture you can see live on Gladiators TV if you are unable to get to the track, but if you have been watching tonight and you are able to get to the track, this is what you should be looking at. Ben's down on the track. I don't know whether he's trying to get the crowd going or trying to orchestrate a Mexican wave or something, but he was he wasn't happy with something down on the track. Maybe he's just going to look at his starting gate for heat 15, because I presume unless his an arm falls off or something, he will be out in heat 15.
I reckon he'd just duct tape it back on, to be fair. He'd give it a good go.
He probably would do, yeah. We're just waiting for another Poole Pirate here. We're waiting for Tobias Thompson in yellow. Obviously back out in quick succession. He's going to come join us.
Bit of grass tracking again from Tobias.
Now, yeah, he
definitely in that roach meeting.
Loves a bit of grass tracking. As we take the lineup for heat 14, the penultimate heat of the evening, and off the inside in blue is Joe Thompson. In white off gate 2 is Tom Brennan. Gate number 3 in red is Jason Garrad, and in yellow off the outside we have Tobias Thompson. As we prepare to take the lineup here in heat 14. Jason Garrad, of course, getting his third ride of the night. Let's see if he can continue that run of fast gates and see if he can keep himself on the pace. As mentioned, the Gladiators in action on Tuesday night against the Redcar Bears here at the Coliseum. On Wednesday night, the POOLE Pirates are back in action against the Redcar Bears at Wimborne Road. So Redcar on a southern tour, but here we go, heat 14, green light is on. Tapes up and away we go, and off the inside.
Oh, look at that.
It's a brilliant gate from Joe Thompson, and Jason Garrad's going around the outside. Jason Garrad slots into second place, but now he's under pressure from Tom Brennan, and Jason Garrad gets out of shape, but he holds it in third, and this is a vital thought too in context of the fixture.
If he can hold it there, oh my lord, that was exciting stuff.
Tobias got out of shape a little bit. To Jason Garrad. Well, that was really unlucky for Jason, but now Joe's got to be careful because Tom Brennan's coming on strong out in second place here. Joe needs eyes in the back of his head as Jason Garrad pulls over the back. 1 lap to go. It looks like a 3-3 for now. Joe Thompson then from Tom Brennan, and at the back Tobias Thompson. But as he comes through to take the checkered flag, it's a heat win in potentially his final ride of the night for Joe Thompson. Stylish out in front. Tom Brennan back in second place. Tobias Thompson grabs third. Jason Garrad retiring at the back, but he was so unlucky after making a hell of a start.
I kind of, with all that excitement going in the early heats at the back, I kind of forgot to see what Joe was really doing. But you know, from the last couple of laps, you know, looked dominant. A little bit of pressure from Tom Brennan, but not too much to concern him really.
Here is the result then of Heat 14, another eventful action-packed heat of the evening. Joe Thompson takes the win in blue. White is Tom Brennan grabbing second. Third place for Tobias Thompson in yellow. Fourth for Jason Garrad in red. And we should thank Jason because you know, he's come in as a National League guest to ride in the engine room of the team, and we saw there that he really did give it a go in his third and final ride of the night. I mean, we're going to see it from the start here. Just talk us through this, Mattie.
You see, he's got his weight sort of like, you know, good amount of weight there on the seat. It looks like he's a slightly bigger lad in the leg area. And, you know, just a great start. You can see he wasn't the first to react to the magnet moving, but that bike just launched once it hooked up. And, you know, for a minute or two, it was exciting stuff. You know, as we said earlier, he pulled a bit of a locker there, which allowed Tom through. Which
but he wasn't far off the pace here either.
No, not at all. And I think that just initially, you know, he ran a little bit too wide there, just kind of hit the marbles, and obviously
Tobias lifts and almost collects him there. And
I mean, both riders lucky to stay on there, to be honest.
They were, and Jason did well to shut off and.
You know, it's a hard ask, isn't it? Especially, you know, even if he'd come in at reserve as a National League rider. You know, it's a hard ask, but you know, to come in at number 3 and you know, give it a good go, fair play to him.
Yeah, and you know, he has given it his all, and we mentioned his first 2 rides there. He was on the pace going into bends 1 and 2. There, he was well and truly on the pace in Heat 14. But that means with 1 heat to go, then it's 40 points to 44. Gary Allen's gone to acquaint himself with Neil Middleditch down in the pit lane.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of issue. I know
Midlow is still not overly happy with something. It's a shame we don't have one of those booms that they have in the in the film department, so we could hear what's going on. Although
I feel like I'm watching Speedway's Jeremy Kyle right now.
Yes, and I'm not sure Midlow's having what Gary Allen's saying to him, and I think it's probably best in decisions like this that they agree to disagree.
Yeah, and then you know you've got Clark in the course, Robert Dorr, and they're acting as Nigel. They always bring on Nigel in the Jeremy Kyle when it's serious stuff. But no, you know, this time in the meeting, obviously Poole are up and adrenaline is really running high now, and you know that buzz. You know, sometimes things get said that probably aren't meant to be said, but you know, referee come down, and adds to that little bit of Plymouth drama.
I think one thing that we will see is both Poole riders here in Heat 15 will be out onto the track well in time of the 2 minutes going off, just to cover themselves as the bikes of the youngsters rev up behind us here on the commentary podium. But it's been a really good night, actually. Let's reflect on the night then. 40 points to 44 with 1 heat to go. 72 points to 102 on aggregate. A good crowd in. We've seen some cracking racing. I hope all of you at home have been entertained by tonight. And unfortunately, perhaps the 5 men just haven't been able to last the distance with the full-strength Pirates.
Yeah, you know, it's a marathon, not a sprint, isn't it? You know, it's a good start. They've done well, but when a meeting is that close, all it takes is for 1 heat to get the wrong decision against you, and the tides turn. A bit of a Pirates reference there. The tides turn, and sometimes that ship sails. You know, it's but you cannot take away, regardless of the result tonight, how well the Gladiators have performed against a full-strength Poole.
Yeah, and they can take a lot of heart from this. Obviously, as we mentioned, the Red Car Bears on a bit of a southern tour this week. They'll come to the Coliseum on Tuesday night. You can see that live here on Gladiators TV or down at the track if you've been entertained enough, as you should be. And then they visit Wimborne Road on Wednesday night to take on the POOLE Pirates. Red Car, who were in action tonight against Glasgow. Obviously, I've been keeping track of this meeting. I'm not too sure how they've got on, but they've just recently made a change, bringing in former Gladiator Dan Gilkes. Of course.
Yeah, so it's you know, Red Car again haven't had the best start to the season. Obviously that injury to Danny King at Workington, but you know, they're bringing in Dan Gilkes. You got 2 former Gladiators at 3 and 4 next week.
I was going to say we shouldn't forget Ben Trigger either coming back.
And also, yeah, Ben Trigger. So you know, 3 ex-Gladiators with Jason Edwards and that. You know, it's going to be a hard one. Charles Wright. Oh, let's see who's.
So we got. Ben Barker will be in red here in Heat 15 with Dan Thompson. And unsurprisingly, Richard Lawson will come out in white. And Tom Brennan will be in yellow for the Poole Pirates. A little bit surprised that Ben Cook hasn't come back out. Maybe his bike's a little bit worse for wear, he's feeling the effects.
Yeah,
of that.
I mean, that's the worst thing with flipping the bike. Regardless if you stay on the bike or get off, you come down heavy on that lower part. It could be tailbone, could be a knee. He could have tweaked a knee. He's a small guy. It's that's a lot of weight coming down on you.
He certainly looked a little bit in discomfort when he was sat down just in front of us. But here we go then. A crucial Heat 15 in terms of the night's fixture then. Richard Lawson comes out. He's the first one onto the track. As I expected, 2-minute time allowance comes on and the two Poole Pirates are the first two on the track. Midlow does not want a repeat of what's happened twice already. Lightning has struck twice tonight for the Pirates already. But it has been a fun and enjoyable meeting. As I stress, I hope you all at home have really enjoyed tonight. I certainly have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed Mattie's company as well. And let's see if we can get one final jet-propelled start. Maybe we'll get 4 jet-propelled starts off the start line in heat number 15. And here is your lineup for the final heat of the night. In white is Richard Lawson. Off gate number 2 is Ben Barker in red. Gate number 3 in yellow is Tom Brennan. Gate number 4 is Dan Thompson in blue. Interesting that Poole went 1 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gate 4 has been not a dud, but it's been a little bit of an off gate for tonight. So I think with that material that is mid-track, I think they'd be looking really to get as close as they can to 2 and as close as they can to, 2 from both sides.
They certainly will, and I would wager Ben Barker might be closer to Gate 3 here than he will be Gate 1.
Yeah. Thing is, he's going to be obviously aware that Lawson's on the inside of him as well.
He's not going to want to give Richard Lawson a free gap up the inside on Ben 1, that is for sure. But for one final time this evening, one final time for the Gladiators in the BSN series for 2024, the green lights are on, the tapes are up and away they go. That is as level a break as we've had all night. Tom Brennan it is this time who kisses the air fence. Here comes Ben Barker though, he's going to try and throw it, everything he's got at Richard Lawson who shows the way. Ben Barker second, Dan Thompson is in third, Tom Brennan is having bike troubles at the back, a 3-all so far.
Yeah, you give Brennan a bit of a mighty shove there, but obviously wants that position. Dan followed him through. Obviously this is not enough to win the meeting, but again, it's a good race. The Gladiators pairing are riding well together. Ben's got the outside covered. Tom's definitely having bike troubles.
It's become a bit of a theme towards the end of the meeting here where the Gladiators are having their own race. Ben Barker and Dan Thompson just acquainting themselves in second and third. They're almost team riding a 3-3.
Oh, I just saw actually Ben on that last lap coming out of turn 4 pointing to Dan to go to the inside.
Yeah,
so
and they team ride a 3-all home. Richard Lawson it is though who brings home the win in heat number 15 and rounds off what has been a thoroughly professional night for the Poole Pirates. I think Tom Brennan's bike might need to go and see a bike doctor at the end of the evening. But at the end of the night then, Richard Lawson finishes with 14 points, always scores well around the Coliseum. And the lap times actually have got slower as the night's gone on, it seems. But the Heat 15 result, a 3-all with Richard Lawson taking the win in white, Dan Thompson in blue, Ben Barker grabbing third place in red, Tom Brennan retiring with bike troubles at the back in fourth. It finishes 43-47 in favour of the Poole Pirates, who advance to the semi-finals of the BSN series. Final thoughts, Mattie? We just wait for what's going to come next. Mattie, final thoughts?
It was a cracking meeting. It wasn't the result we wanted, but again, we were 2 riders short against a full strength, nearly top of the league team. So it was always going to be difficult. But fair play to the Pirates. They've done the job, and fair play to the Gladiators. It was a loss, but it was a positive.
Yeah, I think one thing to come out of tonight is that we've had a really, really entertaining evening here at the Coliseum, where the Gladiators have given everything they've got, with, remember, just 5 riders, of which one of them was a National League guest, slotting into the main body of the team. The Poole Pirates at full strength, with Tom Brennan being able to take part this evening with his Polish commitments cancelled. But the one thing that can come of tonight is a real big boost for the Gladiators. They can take immense confidence from this. They've only been beaten by 4 points against a really, really formidable team. So let's take a look at the team scores then at the end of the evening. Alfie BOWTELL for the Gladiators with 7 with a bonus point. Dan Thompson, a really good night for him, 13. Jason Garrad, as we say, unlucky in his third ride there, just scoring 0. His performances deserve better than that. Ben Barker, 11 with 2 bonus. Dan Thompson, 2 wins to his name, 8+1. Jacob Hutt with 4 third places with 2 bonus points thrown in there. The Gladiators finish on 43. Richard Lawson, 4 wins and a second, means he finishes on 14. Sam Hagen, 4 plus a bonus. Zach Cook with 7 from 4 rides. Tom Brennan with a bit of an in and out evening with bike troubles at the end with 6 points. Ben Cook, 8 points from just 3 rides without exclusion in Heat 13. Tobias THOMSEN with a really positive night at reserve with 8 with a couple of bonus. And let's head down to Mattie in the pits, who's got some reaction.
So we're here with Gladiators team manager Garry May. Garry, not the result that we could have really hoped for, but really a positive for the 5 Gladiators.
Yeah, you know, I thought the boys rode well considering Poole were at full strength, and you know, we was two riders down. We only got 1 point from Carl Newman, and he would have took an RR as well, and we only got 3 points from Nico Cavala's ride. So I'm well happy with the boys, and you know, Poole were full strength, and they've gone through to the semis. But I know, no, the boys, it's a positive move. You know what I mean? You know, when Nico's here or guest is here, and then Carl's back, you know, hopefully we'll move on to red car and beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I know we spoke to Ben earlier, and he was praising the team for their efforts as well, which has been an ongoing thing this season. Obviously, the morale is a lot better this season within the team. But, you know, again, it wasn't a win, but it was a positive performance from the 5 Gladiators tonight. And looking ahead for when Kyle's back on Tuesday and when Nico does return, it is a positive look throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Once we get a full 7, you know, hopefully we'll be all right, you know what I mean? But Nico's got to be full fitness, you know what I mean? So just hopefully, you know, we come back full. And but, you know, he wants to ride again, but trouble is he's got to be fit, you know, and we can't have a half-fit Nico, you know what I mean, because we can't keep doing that all the time. So hopefully he'll be back and be fit, so we'll see what happens. But, no, we're well happy with the boys tonight. 5 of them really rode well. You know, we didn't expect Mattie to get many points, really. But, like we said, Carl Newman only 1 point, Nico 3 against a full Poole team. So we're happy.
Good. That's what we like to say.
Garry May there in fine spirits, as he should be, with plenty to be positive about from his team, as the Pirates go round now to check the applause from their travelling fans. Aggregate result then, the Plymouth Gladiators finishing on 75, the POOLE Pirates with 105. They progress to another BSN Series semi-final as they try to defend their title from last season. The next home meeting here at the Coliseum comes up on Tuesday, the 4th of June, as the Red Car Bears come to town. You can catch that meeting live on Gladiators TV, and we will be here with all of the action on Tuesday night for what should be a really interesting evening. Big thanks to everyone who's joined us here at the Coliseum this evening. Big thanks to the team behind the scenes here at Gladiators TV, and a huge congratulations to the POOLE Pirates, who themselves now find themselves in the semi-finals of the BSN Series. I'm not quite sure who it is they face in those semi-finals, but I'm sure whoever it is, it will be a really well-contested 2-legged semi-final. But that is all from us here at Gladiators TV this evening. A huge thanks for joining us, and we will see you again on Tuesday for Cab Direct Speedway action against the Red Car Bears.